saying that's what time it is. Let's go. Oh, yes. Let's see if we can go. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's Monday. It's Mar-a-Lago Monday. It's outrageous. Outrageous. It's hard to figure out what my favorite go-to. Welcome to the show. This is HAL SPARKS Mega Worldwide. It's hard to figure out what my favorite go-to BS political phrase is. Because we've gone into the non-apology apology. There's invariably many, but one of the things I think I love the most is, and hold on, let me go straight into this. Ladies and gentlemen, King Marzipan Face himself, Eric Bolling, who is melting right before us. I'm just saying that if you're going to put that much lip filler in your face, maybe because of gravity, put it in your forehead and let it run down. Don't put it all in your cheeks and then go straight to a bouncy house. I don't know what the post lip filler treatment program is, but dear God, he looks like a Dick Tracy villain. What is happening? His face looks like a high school ceramics project. I made an ashtray. I thought that was a bust of Eric Bolling. But one of the phrases, and we haven't had quite the chime in. And hi, everybody. Welcome, chat room. Sorry, just come right in. This is Giuliani showing up in this. And I have Giuliani. This is from the 12th. So this is before. This is not the most recent thing. Obviously, there's been, more recent clips, and I will use them. But I just wanted to point this out. The title of this one, Giuliani, one of the most outrageous things that's happened in American judicial history. This is your keyword, kids, outrageous. The minute they say something, that is outrageous. That is outrageous. You would even ask me that question. I find these charges outrageous. It's outrageous. Outrageous. That means it's true. That means it's not even a drinking game. They are already drunk. It is true. That's an admission. If you ever hear a politician go, this story is outrageous. I'm offended at the outrageous attacks on my honor, my ethics, my morals, my political character. Outrageous. Yes. Outrageous is a dead giveaway. It is just without fail. Just count on it. If they say outrageous, it's true. So I love that he started off this way. Now this one's relatively short, and we might get to it afterwards. But I want to first go to, where is it? Okay. So this is Giuliani on Newsmax. He's on Wise Guys with John Tobacco. Hey, Johnny Tobacco. Hey, you fucking guy. Who's this Johnny Tobacco person I've heard about? Fantastic. I have no idea who Johnny Tobacco is. I'm sure we'll find out. I'm very excited about the prospect. Let's see, what do I have here? Oh no, I have to reset all my lenses. That would be sad. Hold on. Let's see, 1 second. I know. Let's see. I lost one of my things. Hold on, and then we go back to. Whoops. Okay, before we get into this, we got to have some stuff ready to go. All right, we'll have to go dig that up. All right, we'll worry about it later. All right, we'll figure this out. Here we go. All right, Rudy Giuliani, welcome. Sorry, I got distracted with computer stuff. It happens. It's been known to happen. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a Giuliani exclusive. What Trump told me right after the FBI raid, the fall of NYC, and more. 13 minutes of, apparently he didn't tell you much after the raid. A couple of sentences. I probably used the word outrageous. Let's find out. Oh, hold on one second. I'm going to turn this thing on. Here we go.
All right. Well,
oh, wait. Why am I not hearing this? Hold on.
welcome back. You watching Wise Guys? Yeah, this is the show that's not like the rest. This is the show.
Oh, that's funny. Hold on. I plugged it wrong, taking the headphones, so I wasn't hearing the thing. Okay, Johnny Tomatoes.
Where we go out and hit the streets and talk to the people, and then
Here we go.
take it to the table.
Me and Johnny Tomatoes.
This week, joined again as usual by my crew, the founder of Citizens Against Political Persecution, Kara Castronova, our resident
She was sick of being persecuted for her politics.
knockout artist, and the America's lawyer himself, Lou Giuliani's here.
Lou Giuliani is here. He's America's lawyer. He will go against anyone who tries to steal government documents and hand them out to anybody who doesn't have clearance. You got to have that. All right. This is good. Yeah. Mr. Carter.
And again, we have a repeat performance. The highest rated show we've ever had was when we had America's mayor with us, Rudy Giuliani.
Well, thanks for having me.
Rudy,
I
thank you
enjoyed it
so
very
much.
Shut up, let him finish the fucking he's introducing you, dum-dum. Shut up.
much.
We had a blast. Even the last time you were on, Jimmy Kimmel kind of lampooned us on his late night show.
I'm sure it wasn't funny because he's not funny, but I mean,
He called you Recount Dracula was his nickname.
well, that's very funny.
Late night stuff.
He's a real.
Yeah, he's one, he made some, he's funny. I think he's funny. He's funny. That was funny. I mean, he wasn't funny what he said about you, but we did laugh.
Comedian.
One of the things that we do here that is kind of a little refreshing, as you know, from the talking heads on the lamestream media
Is that we sit here in an empty restaurant in the middle of the day, basically double dipping on the place and using it as a write-off.
we go out and talk to regular people.
Yeah, we go talk to regular people. And you're a regular person. Yeah, you're full of prunes.
And,
That's great, by the way.
This week, some big topics, of course. Mayor Adams in New York is in a war of words with Greg Abbott from Texas from shipping of illegal aliens. And we're going to get to the Donald Trump raid, which you have exclusive stuff for us on. But
oh boy, you got exclusive stuff. I'm so excited about this. I got to tell you, how can you turn it up a little? I will gladly turn this up a little bit for you. I will say for the record, if you don't mind, that the sound is shit on their end.
let's, Kara, take a look at this woman and what her perspective was on.
Let's play this little. Kara, you're here because you're politically persecuted. Can you do me a favor, Hot Cheeks, and just run the machine for us, will you? Make like a secretary and clickety clack. I don't work buttons.
Why Adams is complaining now that we're getting all these immigrants when he supports the policies of Joe Biden at the border.
The mayor of New York is crying that we can't handle all these immigrants coming.
And I'm worried that we can't handle all this Botox. You can't move the top of your face. You can't interview heel.
Into the state. What do you think about that?
He should do something about it. Stop talking about it, be about it.
What should he do?
Do something.
Yeah, I agree. Well spotted.
He needs,
Do you think he's doing anything?
he's not doing a goddamn thing but sitting on his talking about it. Let's be about it.
Oh, that sums it up. That's great. By the way, obviously that woman is a communist, and because she's wearing a mask, and it's 2022. So clearly, that's an AOC voter. I don't know why they're listening to her.
Sometimes you wish you could talk like that. Sometimes I do.
Ugh. I don't know if I'm going to make it through this one. This is gross.
He's the one who announced that we're going to take care of everyone. We welcome everyone. We've given him the right to vote.
Yeah, well,
Non-citizens.
He's trying. Yeah, he's trying that
it's
one.
unconstitutional.
We're fighting that.
Yeah,
Staten
we're
Island,
fighting
we're
it.
fighting that.
but they
We brought
passed
that
it.
lawsuit.
All the Democrats passed it. He's given him health.
By the way, these are resident aliens have the right to vote in municipal elections, not in federal or state elections.
We give them health coverage in New York. Not every other place gives them health coverage. You know, in fact, I don't know
Yeah, which is disgusting.
why any of these guys would turn down coming to New York.
Well, if I remember correctly, you made New York City a sanctuary city. It was a sanctuary for every resident in New York that was safe. You made it safe from crime.
He was trying to turn the phrase on itself, and he made it safe from crime. Therefore, it was a sanctuary city. And did you see the look on Giuliani's face? I'm not even sure he still gets
You made it a perfect sanctuary for us, the residents. You made it safe from crime. You made this city financially secure, and you created jobs for the city. Yeah, it was a sanctuary for the rest of us, not the criminals.
For people who wanted to work.
Exactly.
People who wanted to contribute.
Exactly.
People who wanted to be good people.
The interesting thing about everybody that we
Edit.
talked to is most people in New York, at least in Manhattan, seem to really support the illegal immigrants coming in and saying that New York should do something to help them
Yeah,
more.
it's a shame. That's why New
So
York has
that's-
more psychiatrists than any place in the country. Manhattan has probably per capita more psychiatrists than any place in the country because it's the most brainwashed part of America. With the exception.
What the fuck? Do you think that's new? Jesus Christ. It's like a joke from a Woody Allen movie.
Maybe a bit
In 1978.
Beverly Hills.
I was surprised, like Kara said, the amount of
By the way, nobody at that table knows what the fuck he's talking about.
people that were saying, well, if
We
we
can
have
find
the
some-
resources, maybe we should get them some mental health.
You know what we
Get
should
them a
do?
place to
You know,
live.
I have a way to fix it.
Oh boy.
Until they want to live next to them.
Why don't we commandeer like the extra bedroom in their apartment
Right,
and put
exactly.
one person in each extra bedroom? Like when the one who says, "Oh, it's only right to have him." Okay, we're going to give you
Right,
so
yeah,
and
you'll
so.
see. Exactly.
What's his background? I don't know. We never checked him out. Here he is. When did he take a bath last? Who knows? He's
Sponsor.
yours.
We can sponsor
Does he
someone.
have?
By the way, people do sponsor immigrants. For the record, Catholic Charities and the like, which is one of the reasons why they were sending buses up from the border. They were going to like Catholic Charities where they were sponsoring children and women who were here waiting out their asylum claims. What they seem to make it the distinction is that it's saying I would rather my tax dollars go to this than that is the equivalent of saying them automatically being NIMBY about stuff instead of going, look, nobody has the capacity one-to-one to deal with the immigration issue. Therefore, I would like my tax dollars to be spent aiding the situation and not destroying the situation. And in this particular case, when you have people showing up in New York, you want services available so that it doesn't bleed over into the regular services, like where people go to the hospital and they can't afford to pay, or they don't have any options, so that drives up the cost for everybody else. Hence, by the way, the ACA, similar thing for Americans who found themselves in a situation where they're not financially capable, or they lack insurance. So if they got sick or something, they would just have to ditch out on the bill, therefore raising the cost of everybody else in terms of medical costs. By attenuating that cost out over everybody, you keep it lower, in theory anyways. And then the exact same thing is true of any kind of immigration system. If you spread it out over a wider group of people, then there's services available and people can help themselves eventually.
COVID. We don't check them for COVID.
I personally
We don't check them for COVID. Yes, they do.
live in the city
I mean, they just do. They do. Like, this is so weird. He's been saying this forever.
my whole life. I've been coming in and out of Manhattan from Staten Island my whole life.
Yeah, mostly to come see your shrink.
We were just out there talking to people in the street the other night.
Yeah, this is about Abbott busing migrants from Texas to New York. But the interesting thing is that if you'll recall, last year, hold on, bus loads immigrants, Catholic, let's see, what is it? Where is it? It's not I can still do my trust. It's 2020. Just Catholic on Wednesday, Governor should order strict transportation. But who's Catholic? Okay, hold on. I'll have to find it up here. I want to say it was Long Island, but let me look this part up. It'll take a little while because there's so many. There's a lot of these stories are new in here because of what's been happening recently. Arrives in Washington, 16th, 22 to the Catholic Church prepares command. Well, this is 20. This is 2018. Hold on. Yeah, so all the way back, Catholic Charities has been like working with immigration, sponsoring immigrants. They obviously this article is from South Texas, El Paso area, where they moved down there specifically to help reunify the families. But at the same time, they've been moving a lot of these like separated children and mothers, especially who, you know, are separated from the father, or they're not even in the picture, or what have you, or they came here seeking asylum. They end up getting moved up to New York, and Catholic Charities actually in 2018. This is a story. Catholic Charities prepares command post for immigrant family reunifications. Catholic Charities of San Antonio is preparing for busloads of immigrant families after being granted a government contract to reunify children separated from their families along the border. Since Friday, the nonprofit has been working round the clock to transform their headquarters into a command post. This is the first step. When people get here, each desk space has a laptop as well as a phone and a printer. The phone is the most critical item lining the desks. This is so families can call and tell loved ones back home, we're out, we're together, we're safe, and here's what's going to happen next. By the way, immediately after this is July 2018. This is when Trump started his, like right as this was getting set up, this is when Trump started the whole, zero tolerance policy.
I have never seen so many homeless people as I see right now.
Everything's gotten worse since de Blasio. Crime is up 40%, homelessness is up.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is, I think the woman's right, he just shoots his mouth off.
Because homelessness and shootings are up for Adams. How long has he been in the office? 9 months?
I don't think he's done anything for the city.
No, not in, what is it, a year now, 8 months, 9
Talks
months,
a lot.
whatever.
Mm-hmm. A year now, 8 months, 9 months. Who can't solve all the New York problems in 8-9 months?
He, you know what he does?
What does he do?
Dresses shop. And he goes to the nightclubs and hangs out with the
Right. Rolls
paparazzi
deep.
and the elite and the
Rolling
elite, but he hasn't done much.
Yeah, at least Giuliani never hung out with anybody at, who had their name on a building or anything.
He
He
has
does. He rolls with an entourage.
He rolls.
And,
This week he came out with a statement, Carrie. He said, well, if Greg Abbott thinks he's going to keep sending all these immigrants up here, I'm going to send some crews of people to go down there and knock on doors for Beto O'Rourke.
well, yeah. First of all, everybody's going to Texas anyway, leaving New York, running from New York. So that's number one. And that's just him being.
No, they aren't, by the way. Like, even the California story, turned out to be BS. I think the sum total of people moving out of California to New York was Joe Rogan and Ben Shapiro. Everybody else stayed.
Completely ridiculous. I mean, obviously, that's not going to work if he sends people down there to knock on doors.
But hey, look, we got some mixed opinions in the street. And
Yeah, absolutely. In Texas, if you have an Italian accent, they're not going to listen to you. But please continue.
I like that because it's always good, to
You sound like a New Yorker. They're going to tell you to fuck off.
hear both sides of the story.
Right.
And I was really surprised by that woman that we just looked at. I thought, just judging the book by the cover, she was going to come down on the side of Eric Adams and say, oh, he's doing a great thing. And she basically said, get off your butt and do something about it.
Yeah.
And also being in New York.
Well, I'm sorry. Do you think she would show the one clip of a person she interviewed if they didn't agree with your point of view? Fuck you talking about? This wasn't just random. You chose that clip. It's your show, dum-dum.
New York City really shows you and asking people their opinions just how well propaganda works because they're so brainwashed in New York City.
Yeah, so everybody else, that was the only person she could find that agreed with her, so they had to play that one. And that's what her complaint is.
Particularly Manhattan.
It's ridiculous.
But you're right.
Manhattan,
You know,
exactly.
Carrie, you're absolutely right. You get out of Manhattan, right? You guys know this because you're Staten Island, Brooklyn, Queens. It's very, very different. It was true when I was mayor, too. Many more realistic people when you get out of this bubble
You mean immigrants?
of Manhattan.
Some strange stuff
By the way, none of these assholes get out of the bubble of Manhattan. You fucking kidding me?
going on that topic with how kind of the fake news kind of poisons the narrative. And after we were at the Port Authority this week, we went up to Trump Tower. Trump was in
Oh, you
town
did?
So you got outside the bubble. Good.
in New York City, and we spoke to some
a
people
heck of a week.
outside there.
Oh God, they talked to the people the people who showed up because of the raid.
And
Eh.
even
Sorry, the search.
people that were kind of Trump supporters were saying, well, a judge signed the order, and the FBI must have had something to go on.
They don't recognize the FBI anymore.
So this
They don't know that they don't recognize the FBI. Why? Because they're agreeing that they were serving a lawful search warrant.
there's a lot of mixed tales out there.
There's a lot of mixed tales out there. Why don't these tell us, Giuliani? Why doesn't the average Trump supporter think the FBI is a criminal organization? Please enlighten us.
We're going to take a quick break right
Yeah,
now.
I'd
We're
love
going to
to
come
talk
back
about
and we're
that.
going to dig
Oh, so want to talk about that.
even deeper
Sad. Oh God.
into the raid of Donald Trump's
The raid Donald Trump. After this, it's the Sebastian Maniscalco of
mansion in
Newsmax.
Florida. Do not move. More wise guys coming up.
That's some fairly heavy editing. Okay, come back. We had to live through half that fucking clip, and we haven't even gotten to Giuliani saying anything of substance yet about this stuff. The title of the goddamn clip is what Trump told me right after the FBI raid.
All right.
Oh my God.
Welcome back. You're watching Wise Guys, the show we take it from the streets right to the table. And this week, the streets are on fire.
They're on fire. They're not, technically. And we went out to find some fire, and even the people in front of Trump Tower were like, I don't know, it's the FBI. They seem like good guys. And we take it straight from the streets to the table. I mean, it's a nice table. I gotta say, what a spread, you know.
Everywhere you
check.
go, people are outraged.
Everywhere you go, people are outraged.
Why is the FBI raiding the home of a former president?
Why does a former president live in a fucking country club like Leona Helmsley?
Wait a minute. This has never happened in the history of America.
Huh. Let's see. It's been a lot of presidents, and this has only happened to one of them. Maybe it's the entire system.
He started his candidacy and his presidency being spied on by the FBI.
No. He didn't. They were pinging cell phones, and a bunch of them pinged to Russian numbers. Why would they spy on him? How would it be spying on him? Why are they using Russian burners?
And now, almost 2 years later, they're still spying.
Almost 2 years later. After his election, but it's been 6 years. Never mind.
On Donald Trump. Why? We talked to some people in the streets. I'm joined again by my crew, America's lawyer, Carol Castronova, and a guy who has more insight on this than probably anyone on the planet, America's Mayor Rudy Giuliani.
Oh, good, because you know what the combo is to that padlock, right? You know what's in there. You helped him move the shit in. You helped him secure those documents. You know exactly what they are. Tell us everything there is to know about this stuff. Obviously, you are deeply engaged, and any of these materials found to be removed illegally from the White House definitely have your fingerprints on them. So why don't you stop looking at me like you fucking panic? Tell them.
Joins us again. So I want you to, there's like a whole range of people who supported Trump who are outraged, and people who didn't support Trump, or independents who are still saying, wow, maybe they're going too hard on this guy.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
You hear what this woman had to say. She was an independent
She's an independent. We found her. She's on my laptop.
She was an unaffiliated voter. But see how this situation swayed her, and then I want you to weigh in, Mayor. Does it seem like there's this ongoing thing to try to get them to you?
A little bit. I think we're being a little harsh on Trump. Yes, I do.
Did you vote for Trump?
Did I vote for Trump? Yes. I mean, I didn't vote, but I cheered him on.
Okay, so
Oh, for fuck's sake. Did you vote for Trump? Yes. I mean, I didn't vote, but I cheered him on. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God.
supported
I
him.
supported Trump.
She cheered him
I
on.
supported Trump by not voting for anybody. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't vote, you're supporting Trump. Straight from the horse's mouth.
She supported him, but she didn't vote.
She didn't vote.
But she does. Her point of view was
As a non-voter, she's really engaged with the idea. She's outraged so much that she might not vote again. Yeah.
they're going way too hard on
Yeah,
this
they
guy.
are. I think you'd have to really be a true partisan to see that they haven't gone too far. Just the mere fact that 250 years of history, just about, never done before.
Well, yeah, that's because we've never had an asshole like that in the White House, basically.
And there's a reason for it. It's not just
Yeah. It's Trump. He's a scumbag. We get it. Yes. I know.
because that's what happens in banana republics. That's what happened in Nazi countries. That's what happened
in Nazi countries, plural. Germany, Ukraine, Nazi countries.
communist countries. So the guy wins, and then he either kills or prosecutes the opposition. I mean, it's going on right now in South America. And
When is it not?
we had the wisdom always, until Biden and the Democrats,
Yeah, we had the wisdom and always to have a peaceful transfer of power where no matter who you were, you showed up at the inauguration of the next person so that, oh, fuck that.
It goes to show you, though, and I hate to say this because, we come here and we talk about tough things every week.
Yeah, totally. I've never even watched. I don't know what the fuck this show is.
And I hate to say this, but it just goes to show you how evil these people
They're just evil. Yes, that's what it is. They're evil.
are. Like,
got the right word.
They're evil.
Yeah,
They're not
it's
nice
beyond,
people.
yeah.
America, and let's make this perfectly clear,
Fuck you.
America has been the greatest force for good in the history of mankind. And these people...
And then Trump came in and fucked the whole thing. What are you talking about? He pissed on our entire form of government. He refused the peaceful transfer of power. He's undercutting elections themselves, saying that democracy is a lie, essentially.
People are taking all the foundational beliefs and all the goodness of America and turning it on its head. And
American values threatened. Yes, by a former president who thinks he's going to be able to bail himself out of his financial hardships and his legal troubles with, I guess, blackmail and national security secrets.
using it against everything we believe
said
in.
it
And it makes me sad. It really does. It really saddens me.
You seem sad. You seem like a sad person. You seem sad. This whole thing is sad. The show is sad. And I'm sorry no one showed up to your birthday party. There's a lady in the back. She's eating alone.
You said something before.
Oh no, is she running things? That's a camera. So that's the Rudy camera. Somebody's behind the Rudy camera. Is she switching things back there?
In third world countries and banana republics, they arrest the former opponent,
all the time.
or
They
kill them.
They kill them. They
Do you
arrest
think,
them. They put their families in
Donald
jail.
Trump should be in any fear of the deepest of the deep
Yeah, he
state,
should.
maybe killing him?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I do.
Oh, get out of here. Here, the deepest of the deep state that might kill Donald Trump is the state of his arteries after the shit he eats and the lack of exercise in his life.
Well,
Scary.
I
at least
do.
putting him in jail.
In many different ways, I do. I mean, the amount of hatred generated toward him is
By him.
the kind of hatred we worry about that would set off a sick person.
What the fuck are you talking about? What do you think you guys shitting on the FBI all week have actually done? There's 2 dead guys this week.
I mean, if there is anything to the fact that hatred can set off sick people,
then maybe you shouldn't direct hatred at the FBI. Or I don't know, a dude might show up at an FBI field office that has fuck all to do with anything that happened at Mar-a-Lago and shoot up the place with a nail gun wearing body armor with a gun in his hand.
I agree.
there's no one where more hatred has been generated by the mainstream media. Who do they hate more than Donald Trump? They display it at Emmy Awards. They display
Everywhere.
it at everywhere.
You guys,
Well, I mean, I would, for the record, I would say disgust. Most of what you're seeing, and like this, since they've name dropped Kimmel, I think he and Colbert both, if they ever show an emotion towards Trump, it's not so much hate. It's more disgust. And it's an important distinction because it's not something that grinds. It's based on jealousy or anything else. He's just despicable. He's a gross human being. His treatment of women, his treatment of minorities, his treatment of the LGBT community, his attitude towards the country as a whole, as his own little fiefdom, it's disgusting. He's a disgusting dude. It's not, and it's one of the reasons, by the way, where I can temper what I say to the point where it's like I don't feel like I'm rage-filled ever on the show, and why I can have a good sense of humor about it, and why we can all share these humorous moments together when we talk about this stuff, is because it's not rooted in hate, it's rooted in disgust. It's disgusting. It's, the man is dog shit on your stoop.
great legal minds. They said they wouldn't let their attorneys in, even though Trump's attorneys showed.
Hey, asshole, here's a good idea. Call any mobster you know, and if you don't know any, ask Giuliani. He knows a couple. And ask if their attorney was allowed to accompany the FBI when they did a raid on any mob property. Any property, anybody. The answer is no, you don't get to.
Showed up down there and the FBI wouldn't let him in. Is that common? Is that how it's supposed to go?
It actually is.
Yeah, it is. See? Hey, maybe. Look at that. Look at that. What do you know? It's actually how shit's supposed to work. Way to go. Hey, kudos, you bastard.
And I know a lot of people are getting upset about that, but
I know they're upset that Trump is being treated like every other American when we both know that he farts unicorn glitter right in our faces. I can smell it right now. If I close my eyes, that's what I dream of. It's just little spritzy farts coming out of his asshole right into my right eyeball. And it's just like, it smells like home to me. I know that upsets people, but yeah, it's pretty much the same.
But when law enforcement is executing their warrant or doing their job.
What the fuck are you air quoting doing their job for, fucko?
As an attorney, you don't have a legal right to actually be there.
I've seen it all three ways.
Right.
Now look at that edit.
I've seen him say no.
Right.
I've seen him say, fine, I don't care. And I've seen him say, well, you can help me with a few things.
Right.
I just want to have one quick question. First, I want to.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that it has to do with public defenders or RICO, and the RICO ones get the fuck out. Because if it's a RICO case, the lawyer might be involved.
I think the FBI should be defunded. They actually politically persecuted me and came to my house as well, just so you know that about me.
They're out of
so
control.
they're absolutely
There's
out of
no
control
question
because I'm a
they're out of
journalist.
control.
Okay.
What? They came to her house. Wait a minute. Why did they come to her house? Hold on. No. Is this any of this? Nope. Why did they come to her house? Did she say?
Only in Washington, they're out of control.
Right. And secondly, I really just want to know how Donald Trump, since you spoke to him, feels.
Okay, wait. Before we do this, hold on. Newsmax, Kara, FBI, what the fuck? Kara Castronova. Let's see. Trump analyst media was. See, professional political activist, fitness trainer, to Golden Gloves Championship, masquerade, and she's ranked in. She's a boxer. Okay, is that the same? super bantamweight boxer. Let's see. Balancing career, personal life, television, political activity. She recognized Pride of New York political activist. She was one of the organizers of the Justice for J6 rally. She has appeared on Fox and Friends and other outlets. She's recognized at one of the organizers. So they came to her because she was one of the organizers for the Justice for J6 rally. Is that what she's saying? She was a trainer on The Biggest Loser, Bobby D Show, Home, TV personality, caricature, Pumas, Last Signs. None of it's in her Wikipedia, so we'll just, Trump praises organizer of New York rally against Governor Cuomo's lockdown. Okay.
Remarkable. Remarkable. I mean, I represented this man through hell, going through hell.
And he didn't pay me a fucking dime.
And you know the worst times for him when they would go after Donald Jr., Eric, or Ivanka.
Because they actually know something and he's afraid the kids will roll, and he's fine with giving them up, but.
And this time they're going after him. He really takes it. You know what he says? It's going to help me.
He
said, did you see the number of people? First reaction was, I said, Mr. President, I don't even want to talk to you about the case. We've got plenty of time to do that. And you know it's I said, I feel so bad, and Maria feels so bad. She's pretty close to crying. He says, tell her not to feel bad. You see the number of people in front of Mar-a-Lago already?
Yeah, almost a dozen.
This is going to turn around. American people have common sense. They've gone too far now.
Yeah,
That's it. That's the whole fucking thing. We sat through fucking 12 minutes and 2 seconds, and that was it. He's like, don't cry for me. Tell Maria, don't cry for me. It's understandable. Tell Maria, don't weep. This is the price of doing business. Anyways, who is this? Rudy, stop blaming me. Stop calling. I'm not gonna pay you. All right. I'm not going to another Giuliani clip on that shit. Can I just say, what is this? Yeah. Okay. So the 5. Let's see, which one's sooner? They're both basically the same timing, I think, on both of these, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I have to say, I once was on, maybe I did it twice, but I did Red Eye a couple of times in New York back in the day. Gutfeld used to host that show, and his producer, I've only met one person in my life in business more miserable than his producer, like bitter, weirdly, like, it's like being around a sociopath. It was just miserable. And it was both, like both times I've run into the guy at Fox Studios back in the day, that he was just fucking sour, just a sour human being. And the only other person I've ever met that was even on par with that was Ashton Kutcher's producing partner on Punk'd. Good Lord. Anyways, but same kind of miserable, just mean and miserable all the fucking time. And largely maybe because they had the same job, which was just try to upset people for a living. That's the gig. And Gutfeld, though, at that point, it was sort of a late afternoon or I guess a midnight show. We taped it in the afternoon, but it was like a midnight show that they put on. And it reeked of kind of just morning zoo shit. And at some point, they decided, they've got to, create some sort of like panel show with their own people. And Gutfeld would be the driving force behind it. And I thought, in my naivete about this, I thought there would at least be a focus on making him funnier. Like he would have some writers and they would craft some stuff, and they would really make an effort to be like the right-wing Daily Show as far as his monologues and his bits. And since that last one we played, I've watched like one other clip of theirs, and it is the same miserable shit every time. I shouldn't be surprised that the jokes are as bad as they are, but they're terrible. And it's one thing to like off the cuff, you're joking around and some stuff doesn't land and that's just life. But you can tell from the pile of paper in front of him from last time when we did that other clip that he puts that shit, like he's like, this'll do it. Like he thinks that he's done the work and that this is the reliable stuff. Of the 10 or 15 things we were spitballing, this is the shit. And I have no doubt there's some similarities here. So let's take it. This is called The 5 Talks the Release of Trump Raid Search Warrant. Talks the release of Trump Raid Search Warrant. This is, don't get my hopes up. The 5 hilarious commentary on the bogus Trump search. Like, they're not even trying. Look at that. The 5 Talks the Release of Trump Raid Search Warrant. La, la, la. Why don't you just put a piece of, like, bread there and stare at it? All right.
Details coming in after a judge released the FBI search warrant.
Oh, it's Bongino.
The raid on Trump's home.
Bongholio, who is looking for a teepee for his bunghole.
FBI just took 20 boxes of items that included some marked as top secret. Now,
yeah, they're marked that. That's not true, though. Nobody believes that shit.
there's a huge battle going on whether Trump declassified the documents.
He did not. There's not a huge battle going on. He made a stupid assertion, and there has been no evidence, nor will there be, that while he was president, he declassified these things. And no, he can't just blanket declassify shit just by taking it upstairs. And therefore, that gives him the right to A, bring it to Mar-a-Lago, and B, show it to whoever. Because once you declassify it, why don't you just... Then I guess technically what Trump is arguing is that everything they took can be in the newspaper without any problem for any of the papers that want to show it.
First, take a listen to this.
We don't know if the TSSCI material was identified in the affidavit or simply discovered in the course of this search. President Trump had...
Right, and interesting edit.
Had the ultimate declassification authority, but that authority ended when he was no longer president.
I'd be interested to know how they are going to prove that it's classified.
Well, one of the ways that they would do it is by showing that it's got classified written on it, and Trump not having any legal steps to declassify any of this shit.
I'm sure it was classified at one point, but, you know, we've never litigated this before. There's going to be a real question of fact here about, you know, whether President Trump declassified it or not when he still had the power to do that.
Yeah, you just have to take his word for it. He said it to Kash Patel. That's good enough for us. That's how our government, that's how you want your government to work. Any crime you committed, I made that not a crime while I was in office. I forgot to run it through Congress or go through the legal channels because I thought, you know, I'm a king, essentially. That's what we have. We have a monarchical presidency. That's how it should work. Anybody who likes America wants things to run that way.
So, Greg, I think the beef everybody has with this is there's a hierarchy here. It's not hypocrisy. It's a hierarchy for the left. You have the Hillary Clinton case where, remember when she said there was a C on the document, she played stupid, and she didn't know what it meant.
That's right.
Remember that? She go, oh, I didn't know what the C, what did it mean? Did it mean Clearwater, Florida? Like she had no idea. And yet Trump, we get it rated.
Again, I'm not sure what he's referring to in that regard. She sat down for 3 hours. Hold on. This business. See if I can find it. July, this is, yeah, here you go. FBI interviews Hillary Clinton over private email server. FBI interviewed Hillary Clinton on Saturday morning for its investigation into whether she or her aides broke the law by corresponding through a private email server set up for use as Secretary of State, a controversy that has dogged her presidential campaign. The voluntary interview she sat down with, which took place over 3.5 hours at the FBI headquarters in Washington. There's your difference. During the server in question storyline and all that, she voluntarily sat down and spoke with the... And by the way, if you lie to an FBI agent, it's still a crime. You don't have to be under oath. You don't have to... Like, that's just... We know that now. If you didn't already know that, you sure as shit do now. She sat down for, like... It's like Benghazi. She sat for 11 hours in one session. That wasn't the only session she did. She sat for 3.5 hours at FBI headquarters in Washington. And let's see, it could take weeks or longer to reach a decision, but news that Ms. Clinton, the Democratic Party's presumptive nominee, had been questioned in the J. Edgar Hoover building 3 weeks before our party's convention quickly reverberated. The RNC called it unprecedented. Donald Trump wasted a little time. It is impossible for the FBI not to recommend criminal charges against Hillary Clinton. What she did was wrong. She sat down and spoke under penalty of prison, told the truth. Trump didn't. Trump breezed by when the National Archives people were there, and then his lawyers, who he put in charge of everything, signed a piece of paper that said they turned over all the national security documents, and they hadn't. It was a lie.
This house.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, the thing is, we should do a show just called "We Don't Know."
Uh-oh. Oh my God, he's on to something. Jesus Christ. That's what every episode should be called.
And just that way we don't have to keep that way.
What we're doing already?
That's thank you for telegraphing my joke.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. No, but we have to start everything with like, we don't know. But what we do know is that, and this is a case where the double standard whataboutism works. The Hillary server was far more sensitive than this because it was real-time communication on a server in a bathroom from our Secretary of State.
On a server in a bathroom? You mean basement?
While she was communicating with Russia. And then somehow it ends up on Anthony Weiner's laptop, among other things, which then he used to surf the web for God knows what. That somehow just kind of slid on by. Then you got to think about Afghanistan.
Hold on. The idea, is he alleging the contents of the server or the conversations ended up on Anthony Weiner's laptop, which they fucking well did not?
I don't know enough. I don't know. But what about
Yeah, nobody ever breached the server. That was the thing.
All that stuff left behind in Afghanistan?
Wait a minute. All what stuff left behind?
I don't know enough. I don't know.
Fuck me.
But what about all that stuff left behind in Afghanistan? Was none of that, was some of that classified? We left it with our worst enemy, and that isn't Trump, Jessica. It's the Taliban. But
see, that's supposed to be a joke because of one of the other guests who's sitting in the Geraldo liberal seat. So Greg is asserting, by the way, just in case you're coming in late, that our soldiers and our commanders and I guess our contractors and our embassy personnel left behind top secret intel for the Taliban. That our soldiers in Afghanistan committed treason. Because obviously Biden wasn't there to personally direct them to do it. So I guess even though it's illegal for them to do it, they just chose to do it because they were in such a hurry to fuck off.
But the fact is, I mean, consider the tech and all those helicopters, right?
Consider the tech and all. You mean the helicopters that we shredded or that we threw thermite grenades into? What do you think? There's a copy of Hillary's server in every Apache? The fuck is this?
There were documents, there were computers. Maybe a lot of it was destroyed. Maybe some of it wasn't. There was like $7 billion worth of gear.
Excuse me, $7 billion? Excuse me, 85 billion?
We do know that pullout, we do know this, was not conducted well.
Oh yeah, we do. Why? That's so true. Oh my God. We know one thing. We are out. We're not actually there. He wrote these down. Watch how often he checks the paper in front of him.
So I really don't know how
many times are you going to say I don't know in this?
Classified material was lost then. So
none.
I think that in this.
None. Fuck you. None. Stop accusing our soldiers, commanders, generals, and contractors on the ground of leaving behind classified documents for the fucking Taliban. None, you fucking tool. None. The fuck is the matter with you? What is that? You're not happy shitting on the FBI? You got to shit on soldiers too? Jesus Christ.
In this case, the whataboutism is thoroughly valid.
How? What do you know about this at all? What about what you don't fucking understand?
Because it's the context that makes this so laughable. The 12 boxes of what is related to something that might be nuclear. What does that mean?
Oh my God. Dude, try fucking harder.
Is it a note to Kim Jong-un saying, hey, had a great time?
Yeah.
You know?
Dana,
gargling your balls. And he wrote, look at him fucking checking the paper again. Dude, this is Don Jr. territory. Holy shit. Okay, I gotta check. You think, like, he leans over every so often and he draws through something like, got that joke in. Got the picture with Kim Jong-un where what? Where Trump was gargling his balls?
when people say to me, that's whataboutism, I say, you're damn right it's whataboutism. I don't understand how that's an argument.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm making a case that the standards of so-called justice apply to one party and not another. And your argument is, yes, that's correct. Yeah. And you should.
No. We're saying you're trying to deflect from what he's doing by comparing it to other people. And those other people sat for volunteer interviews under oath, sat in front of congressional committees under oath for hours at a time. The entire story was explored. The FBI itself didn't bring charges against Hillary Clinton because there was no criminal intent shown there, nor was there any indication that anything of that level slipped out or got past anyone else, and that she was. The idea was that she didn't mishandle private or classified information. She was lackadaisical in her handling of it, and it could have gotten in the wind. It did not. But there was a chance there, and she deserves censure or she deserves condemnation for that. That is not the same thing as knowingly taking top secret SCIF documents and putting them in a storage room in the, I guess, we're not even saying the basement. At this point, anywhere on the property. At Mar-a-Lago, an event space that is rented out to strangers where people can buy membership, where apparently the FBI, the DOJ got 60 days worth of security video from Mar-a-Lago and saw that people were going in and out of the room and went, we got to get this shit back.
Should just eat it? Like, no, I'm not going to eat it.
I always would try to imagine. I don't necessarily, the Hillary Clinton.
It's good so far. No, I'm with you.
Clinton comparison is a good one. I forgot about when she didn't know what the letter C meant. But the Sandy Berger one for me, you're in the middle of the 9/11 Commission. You have the National Security Advisor for the Clintons go to the archives, do some research, stuff some documents in his pants and his socks, walk out, and ends up with probation and a fine.
Yeah.
And
hold on. Look at it. Okay. Sandy Berger. National Archives. Yeah, here it is. 2005. April 1st. Oops. Back up. Why is that? Shrink this down. Hold on. Former National Security Advisor Samuel Berger pleads guilty to knowingly removing classified information from the National Archives. D.C. Assistant Attorney, this is 2005. Assistant Attorney General Christopher Wray of the Criminal Division announced today that former National Security Advisor Samuel R. Berger has pleaded guilty to a charge of knowingly removing classified documents from the National Archives and Records Administration. Berger entered a guilty plea this morning at federal court in Washington, D.C. to one count of violating 18 U.S.C. 1924, a misdemeanor. As part of his plea agreement, Berger has agreed to cooperate with the government concerning his activities at the National Archives. According to the facts admitted during his guilty plea, Berger was reviewing classified documents at the National Archives in July, September, and October of 2003 in connection with requests for documents made by the National Commission investigating terrorist attacks on the United States, the 9/11 Commission. On September 2nd, 2003, and again on September 2nd, Berger concealed and removed a total of 5 copies of classified documents from the archive. 5 copies of classified documents. So the plural documents, 15 each, 3 documents copied 5 times. We'll see. Whatever. The documents were different versions of a single document. There you go. That's what it is. Berger, who possessed a United States government security clearance and was aware of the laws and rules regarding classified documents, knew he was not authorized to remove the classified documents from the archives. Berger took the documents to his office in D.C., where he destroyed 3 of the copies. Soon after the October visit, the archives discovered the documents were missing, and 2 days later contacted Berger. Initially, Berger did not tell the archive staff that he had taken the documents, but later that night told archive staff that he had accidentally misfiled 2 of them. The next day, he returned to archive staff the 2 remaining copies of the 5 documents he'd taken during September and October visits. Each of the 5 copies of the document was produced to the 9/11 Commission in due course. In his plea, Berger also admitted he concealed and removed his handwritten notes from the archives prior to classification review in violation of archives rules and procedures. These notes have been returned to the government. Berger faces a maximum sentence of up to 1 year in jail, which has now been increased to 5 years in jail because of Donald Trump, this same rule, and a $100,000 fine and a year of supervised release. According to the plea agreement, Berger has agreed to cooperate with the government and to surrender his security clearance. The case was investigated by special agents of the Washington Field Office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, who caught him, and the National Archives. And she's, by the way, he was eventually, where is it? Yeah, Sandy Berger was fined $50,000 and for taking the documents, and had to do 100 hours of community service. Can you imagine Trump getting 100 hours of community service, 1 hour of community service for every 5 documents in those fucking boxes?
I was never raided. Now, maybe because he was cooperating, I don't know.
Yes, because he was cooperating. That's why. And because he turned himself in and he pled guilty, and they didn't have to. And they knew the 5 documents.
The other thing I think is, I'm going to make 2 other points.
Yes, since that first one sucked so bad.
Let's just say it is a nuclear document.
Let's just say it's a nuclear document. Who gives a shit, honestly?
First of all, well, let me make 2 points. I had
all right.
I had SCI clearance. You probably did too, right?
Yeah,
okay.
yes,
So when you go to an SCI briefing, there's not like paperwork passed out.
Mm-hmm.
If there is, it's collected and everyone takes it back. I don't know how you would even have.
That's weird. It's almost like you'd have to, I don't know, after you lose the election, put a couple of sycophants like Christopher Miller and Kash Patel in the Defense Department and in other DNI offices and make them make you copies of shit. Make them participate in an active crime. Look, Dana Perino has dumb stumbled onto a huge slice of truth. You can't do this on accident, fucko. That's the point. Sandy Berger knew what he was doing. He smuggled the shit out in his fucking pants. Donald Trump knew what he was doing.
An SCI document to put in a box.
I don't even know how that would happen. It's almost like you'd have to do it on fucking purpose. Right. Yeah, right. I'm cooperating. I'm going to go out. Who put that in there? Get her. I'm cooperating here. Well, you want me to do an inventory of the cars, and I'll do it. All right. Fucking
I
hell.
don't understand that.
Yeah, here. Let me help you understand. You have to do it on purpose.
And also, if it is something to do with nuclear stuff, why would that be declassified? Like, what is?
Exactly. Then hey, dummy. I don't even know why they have the other person who's supposed to represent. Yes, exactly. Exactly, you stupid piece of shit. That's exactly right. Yes, you can't do it on accident. And why would you ever declassify anything related to new? Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you for playing. Dana Perino, way to fuck the whole show. Yeah.
Is it the letter that says, hey, that was like great time. I hope you don't set
Blow
off
us
any
up.
more missiles.
Yeah, please don't send
That would
missiles.
be rude. Don't do that, little rocket.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. His Kim Jong-un relationship. It's hilarious. That's why I'm tucking my feet under the chair and my hands are cupped in the center like this, because I don't know what, I know I'm so over my fucking head here.
Man, and if you don't do it, I'll stop calling you that.
Exactly.
Something like that. Like, okay, so I can understand declassifying that. That would be.
Oh my God. You know, the two of them high-fived after this. Like that moment between us when you were helping me salvage my joke, which you fucked, but I didn't really do well on. That was so sweet. And there was so much like personality.
Be fine, but if it's something else, and here's the other thing. We
Oh no. Just stop talking. You're not helping.
may never know. The last
We may never know. What's the third thing we may never know?
point I will make is the Presidential Records Act came in after Watergate.
Uh-huh.
Then we have this invention called email and the internet.
That's right.
And whereas you used to have maybe tens of thousands of documents, you now have tens of millions of documents. Yeah. It's all the emails. It's everything that you ever did while you were there. All your text messages, now those are presidential documents. And what Andy was saying is that we've never litigated this. If a president declassifies something on nuclear weapons or capabilities,
He can't.
or resources or locations, he can do that.
No, he can't. Also, if he does try, he has to tell someone. He can't just go, I'm magically in my head. Everything I read was being declassified because I view myself as an open book.
But also there's a process that it's never been tested in courts. Does the CIA director get a say? Do our allies get a say? Anything like that?
Yes, they do. As a matter of fact, in the executive order that Obama signed dealing with classified documents that Trump reinforced and increased penalties for, specifically, there's a shit ton of stuff that if any of this stuff is located in or involves other countries that are allies, we let them know before we declassify stuff so they don't become a fucking target.
None of that has been tested yet.
Which is why we shouldn't have jumped the gun. But Jess,
Jumped what gun, fucko? What do you mean, jump the gun? Because the ability for the president to the idea that he might have magically declassified things before he'd ever declared that he had, like literally, there was no talk ever of him just grossly declassifying things until after he was busted for this shit. But Bongholio is asserting that we should just leave it up to Trump. Let's just assume that he magically made himself incapable of criming on everything. So no matter what he does, if he did shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue, don't even arrest him, because let's just operate on the assumption that he made murder by political hierarchy. Like not only the president, but any top candidate can now kill someone, and he just made that a magic law in his fucking head.
the whataboutism argument, yes, that's correct. It's absolutely whataboutism. What I don't understand is how people on the left, Democrats and liberals, don't see it through our eyes. Like, I can see your argument. You don't like that Trump may have taken classified documents. Fine. There's a process for that. I get it.
You do? So why are you sitting by while the panel you're on is making it okay to endanger the lives of FBI agents as a former Secret Service person?
How do you not see that Hillary Clinton literally didn't even have an email with the State Department?
Yes, she did.
Unquestionably emailing classified material. Nothing has happened to her at all or anyone in her.
They had an entire investigation. She participated in it. She didn't stonewall them about it. She sat down for 2.5 or 3 hours with them. Trump, they showed up with a subpoena in June, and he said, yeah, get them whatever they want. And then they lied about getting them stuff. They literally, a lawyer gave them a piece of paper that said, we've given you all the secret documents that we have. And the National Archives has a fucking list of stuff that was checked out or where it was, and it's still missing. And the only place it could have gone is in those fucking boxes. So they sent somebody to get it.
You don't see how we'd be a little annoyed that this...
I don't give a fuck if you're a little annoyed, asshole. Yeah, it's stunning to me that you think being a little annoyed at what you think is a double standard somehow, no pun intended, trumps the idea of nuclear secrets or the fucking knock list, or, you know, where our allies have, you know, agents of their own, or any number of things, where our military bases, where our submarines fucking park, any of that shit is in the wind and kept in a storage room at a country club that anybody can fucking rent for a wedding.
This is now a major deal worthy of a raid. It's like, you don't get that?
Yes, it is.
I get it. I've spent plenty of time with people who share your worldview, and I'm pretty seasoned in it at this point, and I'm good at saying, it's not going to be like this, it's going to be like this. And that's important, and we should all spend more time talking to people who don't share our own worldview. But I did miss the part of American history where Hillary Clinton was president of the United States of America after she had, you know, sent classified information on a private server and went on to, you know, a beautiful 4-year term and whatever else. She lost the election because of an FBI investigation. 11 days before a presidential election, Jim Comey, as the head of the FBI, came out and said that they had reopened a years-long investigation because there was new information that ended up being a dud. And then he had to come out and he had to say that. And then he's had to eat, you know what, for the last 6 years, because everybody hates him because he did that, because he violated protocol, coming out and commenting on an ongoing FBI
Look at Gutfeld nodding during this
investigation.
Or is he just Rain Manning? I can't tell.
By the way, Christopher Wray, a Trump appointee, and Merrick Garland both did not do until their hands were forced by Donald Trump, who was the one who said, hey, Mar-a-Lago was raided this morning. I want to talk about it. Hillary Clinton has been investigated by the FBI, by the Senate, Republican-run Senate committee, who both found that her server was never hacked by a foreign entity. And the FBI, don't go,
I actually have a source on that. So
okay, I have a source,
I have an
every
actual
Senate
source.
Republican
I have an actual
who
source
would
who saw
have
the server.
loved.
Wait. He's like, I have a source that saw the server. What do you mean, the little silver box?
Why did Senate Republicans, who I would say
the Mac Mini,
on the list of things that they hate, have Hillary Clinton like way up high, not have said that out loud if that's what they found? So I get it. And when it happened, I said that she absolutely should not have been not doing things by the book on this, but they are not comparable. And for you to act like she won in any of this, she did not win. She lost the biggest election there is. And
I don't remember the search warrant at Hillary's house, so I missed that part.
Maybe because she didn't refuse to comply.
Yeah, I gotta go to
the Department of Justice.
Look, he's like, I gotta go to her because you're bugging me, and she's absolutely right. She didn't refuse to comply. She actually did a one-on-one interview.
Justice treated Hillary Clinton with not just kid gloves. They coddled her like a baby. She
went over there, and for 3 hours, they bottle fed her. They changed her nappy.
And they interviewed her with her attorneys, President, who were co-conspirators long after the original Comey statement. And her answers were so ridiculous. She should have been charged with making false statements. And a reminder, Martha Stewart went to prison for 5 months for doing that very thing. There's only one.
All right, I again, gibberish. After the Comey statement, Hillary spoke to them. When is this? This was July. This is before the Comey statement.
One thing that matters in this: what you got? Give it to me. Yeah. It better be big, supersized, like Jupiter-sized information for you to crush a standard that stood in this.
Yeah, it might be, an assumption that almost anyone who's sane would make, that knowing how violent maggots are and how gullible, ma'am, folks like you are, that they really would have to be afraid that that it's an enormous thing to have out, a secret that's in the wind like that. Yeah, I don't think they would just do it to get Kim Jong-un's letters back, or fucking like Jesse Waters said, the golf ball. By the way, apparently whoever sits, the person to the left, just to the left of dead center, she's in the Janine seat. So this is the angry wine drunk seat. There's the liberal, and then dead center where Bongholio is where Jesse Waters is, which is the, do nothing but full on defend Trump with everything you have. And then I don't know what the fuck Dana Perino is doing.
This country for more than 2 centuries, more than 230 years.
Yeah.
And Jess, I understand that the left, that Democrats don't like Trump, but I don't understand how you aren't more upset about an FBI run by Chris Wray and a Justice Department run by Merrick Garland that defrauded and deceived all American people.
What? Defrauded and deceived all American people. Christopher Wray, Merrick Garland, defrauding and deceiving all American. Why does she talk like a share note all the time? If I could turn back time.
With the Russia collusion fraud, the dossier.
Again, this is a list, by the way, that Trump puts out. How the fuck does a dossier have anything to do with Merrick Garland's DOJ or Chris Wray? The fuck are you talking about? Like, Jesse Waters, literally in the other clip from the 5 that we watched, did this whole thing like they planted the dossier on him. This was and I don't even know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. It was Oppo Research shitting on the man for his business and political connections as he was running for office and in the years prior. And the fact that he's fucking gross. The fact that who gives a shit about the dossier in terms of his readiness and fitness for office when you know full well both of his sons have said, we got tons of projects in China, we get all the money we need from Russia, and him going, you can just grab women by the pussy. There was a day in this country where that would have been enough for the Republican Party to tell him to go fucking pound sand.
Lying repeatedly to spy on an American citizen. When the FISA court itself, the chief judge called out the FBI's malfeasance, that the Horowitz, the inspector general at the Justice Department, called out the FBI's malfeasance. All
the malfeasance.
Merrick Garland, you know what? Put up or shut up. If you found some top secret stuff, post it on the internet so we can look at it. The fuck are you talking about, dummy? No. As a matter of fact, the problem, and this is a problem that the Justice Department and the DOD and the Pentagon and fucking CIA and everybody in the administration has, is that the more serious this shit is, the less they can talk about it. And Trump's counting on it. Literally, the Trump system seems to be steal secrets so big they can't even talk about them, and you're scot-free. Oh. Found something, charge the president. Now
that I'm fine with. You can do that.
Could pull a Jim Comey. He doesn't have the authority to do it, but technically he does have the power to do it. When in evidence seized,
he doesn't have the authority, but he does have the power. The fuck are you talking about?
Remains sealed until it's introduced as part of a criminal proceeding. But he could step up and say, "This is what we got. This is what we got on Trump." That's all that matters in all of this. And they won't do it
because it's top secret. What the fuck? Yes, they're not going to announce to the fucking world the kind of stuff that Trump had at Mar-a-Lago, which he shouldn't have had in the first place. What are you talking about? Again, this is the standard. Like if you're gonna, it's about the brazen criminality that they're okay with. Like that's the secret. Just if you're going to crime so big that it will fuck up everything if they go after you.
Because again, they're looking for January 6th.
Let me just add in.
Yeah. They're what? Jesus Christ.
And they won't do it because again, they're looking for January 6th.
Let me just add in.
Yeah. They're looking for January 6th. Fucking hell. HAL, doesn't Trump business have a big note due to China soon. Yes. Well, they had a Deutsche Bank loan that was due in the 200s, $200 million something, which he does not have.
In closing, saying Hillary Clinton complied when they literally smashed Blackberries with hammers is really like left.
By the way, what you're supposed to do when you leave the State Department.
So I just want to throw that in there. Hammers, they smashed them. They smashed them with hammers. That's not complying. I'm pretty sure that's not part of the problem.
Well, again, if they're private, the government, through a subpoena, can access all the information on them because it still exists. If it's stuff that was available, I guess, and not supposed to be passed through there, it's not just in the fucking phone magically.
Process. Up next, the FBI's Trump warrant's out, but where's Joe Biden?
Yeah, he's on vacation, enjoying himself.
The president's silent and on vacation. It's very nice.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian.
Hi, everybody.
Kilmeade.
I'm Brian Kilmeade. Steve Ducey put his nuts on my forehead this week, and it still burns like holy water. Anyways, so there's another. Okay, I don't know. Like my skin's gonna itch if we have to do. There were two of these. This the Trump warrant was released, and we didn't have the Five's reaction to it. This was before it, when they were clamoring for it, when Janine was yelling for it. Let's see. The five panelists weigh in on the FBI search warrant for former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence being unsealed by a judge. This is the Trump warrant release. We'll see what their take on it is. Dear God.
Probable cause was something I was thinking about earlier.
Oh, by the way, you're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. Support the show in any way you can. And if you hate it, thanks for being here. You'll never get your time back.
Dan, because we've talked about search warrants, affidavits, but part of all of this is you have to have probable cause. And if it is about classified documents, then maybe we'll never know because even though the president declassified them.
Look, it's Dana Perino accidentally telling the truth.
Are they available?
Again, did she do this the whole fucking show?
To look at? I don't know.
What is Greg writing right now? Can someone please, he's like writing a note. Please, someone get Dana the fuck out of here. She's spilling the beans.
I mean, there's a number of issues, and you just brought up one of them, which is the president is the ultimate authority when he was the president on what's classified and what's not. Yes.
Yes, but there is a process, and you can't retroactively declassify stuff because you were once president. Unless you want to live in some sort of weird, theocratic, cultish, Branch Davidian country.
There is a procedure, but let's just be clear.
What would that procedure be, fucko?
This is unprecedented. We've never seen anything like this.
Yes, we've never seen a president try to retroactively declassify shit he ran off with.
American history. So if you're going to have a reason to break precedent and go,
like taking classified material and hiding it in a storage room in your country club with cheeseball locks on it.
After your political,
where you have to be told by the National Archives to padlock the fucking thing.
Opponent in the past and potentially in the future, you better damn well produce some cookies. You better not produce. I've done these, by the way, many of these. Was a federal agent for over 12 years. I've done warrant returns. We weren't so fancy as the FBI. We wrote it out in hand. But I'm looking at this here and I'm wondering, okay, so you're about to burn down the constitutional republic like this loser in the Attorney General office is.
Yes, this loser in the Attorney General's office is about to burn down the country. But understand the languaging there. This goes like Mark Levin and the whole bloodlust thing. Is that this incendiary language, like you're about to set off a civil war over this. This is a fait accompli. This is going to happen, and get used to the idea. My opinion is that what you have is shit, and therefore people are justified in burning the country.
So what's he producing here? The Russian nuclear codes? Don't see that.
Well, they wouldn't list them, fucko. And why would we have the Russian nuclear codes? I mean, we have them. We do. Just in case any of I know we have some Russian bots and some troll farms that watch us, and track what's said here. And we do have the Russian nuclear codes. We also have the ability to target Russian weapons so that if they do end up firing them, they all aim at Moscow. I don't want to tell you how I know that, but I do know that for a fact.
The United States nuclear code, don't see that either.
Yeah, he caught himself.
What is he producing? Is it the file on where Amelia Earhart? I don't see any of that.
All right, this is again. There's fucking skiff stuff in there. He knows what these codes mean. We looked at this document.
Matter of fact, all I see is yes, there may be.
Yes, there may be.
Maybe some classified documents.
Some classified. It says classified, top secret, SCI.
I say maybe because we don't know if they were declassified or not.
Yeah, we do. They weren't.
And I say, okay, if that's the case, he had something he shouldn't have had. There's a process for that. The same process we've done with every other president. So Merrick Garland wants to burn the Republic down.
He wants to burn the. Why would it burn the Republic down? Why would it? What would actually be the match that lights the fire? What's going to burn down the Republic about this? Oh, he means cause Trump supporters to kill people, and that's understandable in the context of this, instead of, oh, this is a big deal. It's obviously a huge step. We'll watch this play out, and if it doesn't play out right, quite frankly, I mean, Trump arguably would be a shoo-in to run next time, wouldn't he? Wouldn't they be helping him if he's totally innocent?
Infuriate probably 100 million plus Americans. Over leather-bound boxes of documents. What is this, Anchorman? He has a collection of leather-bound books and fine colognes? This is what...
The leather-bound one is the one that has the skiff documents in it. Literally, hold on one second. Just so we're clear. Let me back up here real quick. Read the search warrant. There you go. That would be this. The leather-bound book, like he's trying to make it's the 5. They're trying to make a joke about this. Right here. Leather-bound box of documents. That's number 2. That's item number 2. 2A is various classified, top secret, and secure compartmentalized information documents. The leather-bound box it seems to contain the most serious stuff that was found. The SCI documents. And it also had random classified and TS stuff. So he thought for some reason that would protect him. Just collecting them. He just put them all in one thing.
We're burning the country down? Why are you laughing?
That's funny.
I'm not a comedian. I should have done your show. This is it. You're going to...
Because he referenced Anchorman, by the way.
Burn the country down over what? Over this? You better produce something, and they haven't produced anything.
One of the things on the list, Greg, is like a box of documents.
Yeah, box.
So that's why I think, I don't know if we'll ever actually see these documents. Until they decide to...
Listen to her. Box. Motherfucker, lots of boxes. He had multiple boxes of stuff that didn't belong to him. And again, understand, this is when they all received this. They're looking at this. There's Christina Bob's signature. This is when she signed off on getting it at 6:19 p.m. on August 8th. Hold on one second. Let me scroll down so you can see, because she signed it in multiple places. There you go. 6:19, 8/8/22. That's when Christina Bob got this. She lied for days saying that she didn't get this, she didn't see it, that they didn't give her this. And we now know she signed it, and as his attorney, her handwriting, her signature and her printed name are the exact same thing. And she got it at 6:19 p.m. on the 8th, the day that they were there. As soon as they were done, they handed her a copy of the search warrant. They handed her a copy of the list of stuff that they took, the receipt for property. She signed that receipt for property, both of them. And in this, the one he's joking about, the leather-bound box of documents, has the most secure stuff in it. And this dickhead is just box.
To leak it.
I have to disagree with Dan. This is bigger than Watergate. It's bigger than...
I think this is supposed to be verbal irony or sarcasm. We'll see.
9/11.
It might just be... Here's the thing, is that Greg doesn't know the difference between sarcasm, verbal irony, and just being a snide prick.
It's bigger than Vietnam, Iran, all combined. It's bigger than the cancellation of facts of life. If he actually...
All right. Oh, you egged it. You egged it. It was supposed to be all these big things and then something petty. And he was supposed to say facts of life, and he almost said faces of life, like Facebook cancellation. He was canceled on Facebook. Something was stuck in his craw. You fucked it up. It's terrible. It's it happens to the worst of them.
All combined, it's bigger than the cancellation of facts of life. If he actually went
facts of life,
home with extremely sensitive material, and now he won't give them back. Why do you think he would do that? Do you think he's planning on selling these secrets to Russia, or is he going to build his own missile in Bedminster? He already has the bunkers. It's a golf course joke.
He's reading this off of paper. At least somebody salvage this poor man. Put some of this shit in his teleprompter. He's got a camera right at him. He can look up and go, what is this? And he can give him a scroll thing. So he can just scroll up and go, I'm going to hit this joke. And I'll go, hey, what's happening? Is it this? Huh? And then turn to the people. This is fucking painful.
This doesn't sound at all hysterical, does it? This is not an affidavit. It's a gaffidavit.
Oh, shit. This is not an affidavit. It's a gaffidavit. Fuck you. This is so bad. Let me show you how bad that joke is. Can I show you how bad that joke is? They titled the video that. Greg Gutfeld, this isn't an affidavit, it's a gaffidavit. Fuck me. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. This is, like, how, oh, fuck. I gotta say, I'm surprised. I'm surprised it's this bad. Holy shit. Gutfeld, what the fuck is this, dude? This is terrible. Your show is terrible. It's terrible. This is, honest, like, Steven Crowder must be suicidal right now that he's not getting the Gutfeld money. Oh, God.
I just coined that phrase.
Oh, God.
You can't take anything seriously when it...
Damn.
It sounds like every hoax that has come before it. The hoax thing is...
Maybe it's you. Maybe if Trump is attached to it, you are just predisposed to unhinge your jaw and let him rest his nuts on your uvula.
It's like it starts off with this big fireball, and then it just starts, and then everybody is going tick, 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 tick on Twitter, and they're going, oh, the walls are closing in, the walls are closing in, and then as it...
And then the Republicans don't remove him from office. They protect him, even though he's been impeached. Because he actually did get impeached twice. And the only reason he wasn't removed from office is because his party chose him over the country twice. And then they regretted it.
Goes away, suddenly the media has to turn on the supporters and say, they're dangerous. What you're going to hear a lot of is, if it's true. If it's true. I heard that on our network, if it's true. These...
Oh, wait a minute. On your network? You heard that? Oh, they're coming for you, Ducey.
3 words prefaced every single story that turned out not true. This could be, if it's true, this could bring him down. So to your point, Dan, this is going to be about process. It's going to be the most boring thing ever. A he said, she said about paperwork.
No, and I'll tell you why. Because the paperwork is what's missing for him. he, and through Kash Patel and others, is trying to spread this idea that he magically had the right to verbally declare. He had a standing order. He never wrote it down. It doesn't exist in paper anywhere. Certainly not in the government. I'm sure he's having someone like type it up right now so he can sign it and backdate it like a fake tax return that he's done.
The dullest violation you will ever. It's another process crime. Wonderful. An administrative good.
No, it isn't a process crime. It's about top secret documents being stored in a country club that the fucker owns, where he was just golfing with one of the Saudis.
He didn't follow the process because he thought he was the process, and off it goes to court. Meanwhile, all you're left with is Merrick Garland looking like a depressed.
All you're left with is the FBI had to go and get shit that he was leaving in a room with a cheese ball lock on it.
Owl cartoon, and Donald Trump absorbs all that energy. And he decides, I'm going to run again, and he's going to use all that energy to win. Or maybe he won't. All I
Jesus Christ. Just say I don't know again.
know is the guy that's coming out on top right now is him. Because this just looks hilarious.
Yeah, it looks hilarious. Again, the idea that, if you want to talk about the whataboutism part of it, the vast majority of the stuff around the Hillary Clinton server thing, there was a bunch of Democrats who turned on her, and there was a lot of like, this doesn't look good kind of conversations. None of that is happening at Fox right now. As a matter of fact, they are doing everything. The whataboutism isn't even about the two individuals involved, whether, Hillary versus Trump and their behavior around classified, information. It is literally the behavior of supporters. Now, when Comey came out and said we're reopening the investigation again, it damaged her, and in large part, a lot of people think that contributed to her losing the election. And 2 years later, fucking nothing. But it changed the outcome of the election in some people's minds. It's like it was enough of a turn that that she lost enough independence that the hold your nose and stay home progressives that wouldn't vote for her made a huge difference. Trump on the other, and again, Trump's literally taking the things after he'd been in office and is now retroactively saying he magically Harry Pottered them declassified after the fact. But the thing that I think is worth looking at in terms of the whataboutism and the both siderism that's going on here is the behavior of the media around this, because the idea is that they are acting like they perceive people acted towards Hillary Clinton, when in reality, they were much harder on her than these assholes would ever be on Trump.
Discussion today also about how do you prove intent, right? Because, we don't know hardly anything.
But that hasn't stopped us from talking about it.
But this is Brett Tolman. He used to work at DOJ. He was talking about how to prove intent.
You do not have the mental state evidence to prove that there was intent. You have to be able to show that the president himself had the intent to take and keep and refuse to give back classified materials. And that doesn't even include whether or not he designated it or declassified it. It's whether or not he had the intention, and that there are overt acts by the president that back up the theory that he had the intention to commit a crime. We don't have any of that.
Yet. Also, Dana Perino just pointed out in the other segment from this very episode that the skiff stuff that they have is not the kind of stuff you accidentally stuff in a box.
It's like this since Monday night. We don't have any of that. We now have this.
It's been a whole 3 days or 4 days.
Warrant, but as Dan was pointing out, it's pretty vague as to what they took.
I will point you to attachment B, paragraph C.
I don't know. Does anybody know who this woman is? Why she qualified? She is wearing a lot of leather.
Any government and/or presidential records
this is the what they can look for.
Created between January 20th, 2017 and January 20th, 2021. That's every record created during the entire Trump presidency. That's what they could take. Andy McCarthy texted me about this, and
Yes. They can only take, they only have the right to look for and expect to find presidential, or national security secrets or records from his presidency that he wasn't supposed to keep, that the National Archive is supposed to keep, from the time he was sworn in to the time when Joe Biden was sworn in. And that they're not going to look to find, they're not expecting to find or allowed to look for, I suppose, national secrets, or the idea that there would be national secrets in his possession that happened after he left office. That would be a whole different set of crimes. That would be that's Rosenberg's level stuff. That is the idea that at that point, a private citizen was now in possession of national secrets they never had any right to.
He said, that's not evidence of a crime at all. It's not, much less a crime of mishandling classified information. It's evidence of a Presidential Records Act violation, and that's not a criminal statute.
Yeah, that's not all they looked for, fucko. If you and again, it's interesting that they're not putting this up on screen. Maybe they did at some point. But if you look at, this is where's attachment B? This is what she's talking. All physical and documents and records constituting evidence, contraband, fruits of crime, or other items illegally possessed in violation of 18 U.S.C. 793, 1071, or 2071, or 1519, including the following: any physical documents with classification markings, along with any containers/boxes, including any other contents in which such documents are located, as well as any other containers, boxes that are collectively stored or found together with the aforementioned documents and containers and boxes. So if they're all stacked together, they all got to go, because anybody who's ever stored a piece of paper next to another piece of paper and they got wet, and it transferred some of the contents to the other piece of paper, do you think the government would ever go, well, fuck, we only have the ability to take the original. We can't take the part that it leaked onto, or the box itself. The fruits of crime. Information, including communications in any form regarding the retrieval, storage, transmission of national defense information or classified material. That means they spoofed his hard drives. Any government and or presidential records created between January 20th, 2017 and January 20th, 2021, or, notice she didn't say that part, or any evidence of the knowing alteration, destruction, or concealment of any government and or presidential records, or of any documents with classification markings. Everything's got to go. It's interesting to me, though, listen to how she describes this whole thing.
It's evidence of a president. It's not. McCarthy texted me about this, and he said, that's January 20th.
Hold on, back up.
It's pretty vague as to what they took.
I will point you to attachment B, paragraph C. Any government and
I think that was a nerd noise she was making.
or presidential records created between January 20th, 2017.
Sorry, read that again?
Records, paragraph C. Any government and or presidential records created between January 20th, 2017 and January 20th, 2021. That's every record created during the entire Trump presidency. That's what they could take. Andy McCarthy texted me about this, and he said, that's not evidence of a crime at all. It's not, much less a crime of mishandling classified information. It's evidence of a Presidential Records Act violation, and that's not a criminal statute.
It's a misdemeanor.
These search warrants are supposed to be about evidence of crimes.
Hi, stupid. So you're just going to ignore all the other shit? How about attachment A? How about we do this one? The premises to be searched. 1100 South Ocean Boulevard, Palm Beach, Florida, 33480, heretofore referred to as The Dump, is further described as a resort, club, and residence located near the intersection of Southern Boulevard and South Ocean Boulevard. It is described as a mansion with approximately 58 bedrooms, 33 bathrooms on a 17-acre estate. The locations to be searched include 45 office, all storage rooms, and all other rooms with areas within the premises used or available to be used by the former President of the United States and his staff, and in which boxes or documents could be stored, including all structures or buildings on the estate. It does not include areas currently, i.e. at the time of search, being occupied, rented, or used by third parties, such as the Mar-a-Lago members, and not otherwise used or available to be used by POTUS and his staff, POTUS, such as private guest areas. The property to be seized was primarily all physical documents and records constituting evidence, contraband, or fruits of crime, or other items. She's acting like the government records, or presidential records, which are different. She's making a distinction where there is none.
But this
she's making no distinction where there is one.
Warrant allows them to take every shred of paper related to Trump's presidency, regardless of whether it's connected to classified information.
And then they can return it when they're done if they find that it's his naturally. Or they can make copies of it and give him the fucking copy like they did with Obama.
Again, these roughly 30 FBI agents should have been carrying rods and reels and buckets of bait, given what they're going in.
It's a fishing expedition. If I could turn back time.
Into Mar-a-Lago looking for. As Andy has said over and over again, the why now is the January 6th investigation.
No, the why now is because they subpoenaed it in June. They got 60 days of security footage, and what they saw is that they were supposed to secure the space, put another lock on the door, and not go in there until they could get all the shit from them. They would come and pick it up, and they saw people going in and out of it like crazy, and they're like, fuck this, we're picking it up.
Within the Justice Department, period, end of statement, full stop. That the why now is that you've had recently, the day after the Mar-a-Lago search, the FBI executed the warrant on Congressman Scott Perry for his phone. And
That's the January 6th thing.
Congressman Perry was the one who introduced the environmental lawyer at the Justice Department to President Trump, John Eastman, Jeffrey Clark. Jeffrey Clark and John Eastman both had search warrants executed on them in June. Jeffrey Clark, I believe, was pulled out of his house.
Jeffrey Clark heard a woman's voice at the door and answered the door with no pants on. The FBI didn't kick in his door. They knocked on the door. They say FBI. Put some fucking pants on.
In pajamas when they were searching him. Then you had grand jury subpoenas recently to Pat Cipollone and Patrick Philbin.
It's pronounced Patsy Baloney.
So search warrant, subpoena, Scott Perry, the phone, and now this. This is they are the garbage men. They're collecting.
You're right. Well, Trump is garbage, but that's different.
Evidence.
It's different kind of like there's garbage and then there's recycling, I think.
To funnel to the Department of Justice to support the January 6th investigation. Andy has said that all along. And
yeah, but that doesn't mean it's true. And you seem to be under the misapprehension that Trump is only criming about one thing at a time.
That one little paragraph seems to indicate that. They take anything.
Just anything.
Anything they want.
It's the National Archives, dummy. He didn't vet the stuff, so they have to take it all back, and then they filter through it, like you're supposed to.
Jessica?
Jessica.
All of Trump's talking points have exploded in his face, whether it's on stuff that he has released on his Truth Social account himself or the people that he has dispersed all over television to proliferate his lies, including his own children, saying that he didn't get a copy of the warrant. Christina Bobb, his attorney, confirmed that on our network and other networks. They did have the warrant there. He said President Obama, I love when he tattletales on himself. President Obama did this too. He took the nuke materials out, in his back pocket. Not true. The National Records Office released a statement that President Obama fulfilled protocols, 30 million documents, went through them to Chicago, following protocol, respect for the law and the way that things are done. It is too mind-blowingly arrogant, I think, to sit here and say, I know exactly what's going on, and to call the Attorney General of the United States of America a loser. I think that's the word that you used.
No, he's a loser. Oh, he's a real loser.
Great,
like
Dan.
a genuine loser.
I just
Like, again, a loser. He would have been on the fucking Supreme Court if Mitch McConnell hadn't run interference, Dan.
Actual loser. And I mean,
he's literally the Attorney General of the United States, and you're a rotating member of the five.
Losers in
I'm
my
glad you
life,
brought
and Merrick
that up.
Garland
He
is
a
certainly
total
not.
loser.
Okay.
He is burning down the constitutional
He is
republic,
not.
targeting this guy, and you
former-
don't know what's in there either.
No,
and I can tell you
but
what's
I can
not
at
in the
least
PP
say
holes.
that I don't
An
know.
actual PP tape. I can tell you what was on the Hunter Biden laptop. Actual pictures of him with hookers smoking crack.
Guess what?
So
Hunter
please
Biden was not
spare
president
us
and will not
the
be.
pearl clutching about
I wish
how
I had
Barack
better pearls in
Obama
life.
was a standard and paragon of justice.
Look how this is brutal. And again, that's the seat. So this is the format of the five. That if you sit in Jesse Waters' seat, you have to carry the president's water in a bucket, which is your jaw. There is no Hunter Biden laptop at all. Fuck you, Bungholio, doesn't exist. I'll debate me, bruh.
On the Democrat side, Hillary Clinton literally paid a foreign spy to produce a hoax about this, and you're citing.
By the way, the Washington Free Beacon paid Fusion GPS to get to put together the dossier after the fact. They sold it to the Clinton campaign, and she basically shelved it. She should have used it. She didn't.
The Democrat Party as a paragon. Don't make me laugh on the set.
I sat there and listened to you.
Well,
so just let me finish.
You brought up
I just want
Merrick Garland being a loser, which he is. So if he stopped being a loser, I wouldn't have the need to respond.
If he stopped being a loser, I would need to respond. And that, by the way, this is great TV for Greg. Greg is loving this. This is exactly the kind of show that he wants the five. This is their Emmy moment.
The point here is that the former president.
Yes, and good point, Kent. It was a search and seizure warrant. Excellent point.
Has no respect for the rule of law. And he's shown this over and over again. He called Brad Raffensperger up and he said, find me 11,853 votes when he didn't like what was happening in Georgia. He wanted to stop the count in Arizona and continue it in Pennsylvania. We saw what happened on January 6th, where he wanted Mike Pence to decertify an American election, make all of you at home, he wanted your votes not to count. That's how little respect he has for it. And now he's refusing to comply with rules that every president has had to comply with. And why now? Because they subpoenaed him in June, and he did not comply.
Now she's got her notes together.
No, I'm not.
You're making that up.
No,
You're just
I'm
lying.
not.
Yeah, you are.
Listen to him. You're making that up. And they're like, she's literally, no, I'm not. And they're both like, yes, you are. This is Fox News. This is.
He actually met with them on June 3rd, according to multiple sources.
Yes, and then after that, Jay Bratt, who was the agent involved in this, who does oversee.
It was 6 weeks since the end of June, and that was the last
Did
communication.
he comply with the last subpoena,
If it was so urgent,
That's
if it was
not
so
what I
urgent,
asked you. Was there a subpoena ignored by the Trump
They
team?
had conversations after the subpoena.
Was
multiple
it
conversations.
complied?
Again, that's the other thing, too. There's been a bunch of this shit. They had multiple conversations. We have seen no evidence that there were any quote-unquote conversations between Trump and the National Archives since the subpoena.
They handed over surveillance tapes, Jesse. You don't know whether they complied or not.
Yes, we do.
Actually, no one knows anything. But we
know Merrick Garland's a big loser.
Do you know what I know, though, Dana?
Thank you. We both
this
agree.
week has been so much fun with this story because no one's getting hurt, and it's about paperwork.
Actually, the FBI.
It's about paperwork that might include the nuclear codes. I love how that's his fallback. Gutfeld thinks that what will save the lightness and comedy of this particular story and kind of raise the vibration of it so jokes will float again is that if you make it in serious. This is about, and this isn't his original thought. Trump referred to, let me see if I can find this, like pencil pushers or something, or like some officious pencil pusher. Let's see. Trump. Let's do this. Trump Truth Social. Yeah. So, here we go. Try to get this up here. So this is Trump's. Hold on. Why is this Control Plus? There we go. These are Trump's. This is 14 minutes ago. FBI raid boosted MAGA voting fury, according to the Washington Examiner. 2022 red wave was losing steam. Then Mar-a-Lago raid changed everything. Western Journal. No. Trump raid motivating 80% of GOP to vote is tip of voting surge. Newsweek. No. Turnout Trump and the Mar-a-Lago raid made for a big upset in Connecticut. No. Stuart Varney, if Trump's Mar-a-Lago raid was designed to intimidate, it failed. Critics blast FBI DOJ for raid at... Okay, anyway. We can't trust the FBI for its long history of political meddling, according to the New York Post. So FBI, why no raid of Hunter Biden's house? That's Trump saying it itself. Mar-a-Lago wave, he's doing all these articles. Then he did, this is a book, The Big Fraud by Congressman Troy Nehls. The name of the book, the full book is, and he did this, The Big Fraud, What Democrats Don't Want You to Know About January 6th, the 2020 election, and a Whole Lot Else, and a Whole Lot Else by Congressman Troy Nehls. And then it's a book by Ronnie Jackson, then Paul Manafort's book. One of the ways that you cover for the fact that you're in deep shit is just flood your feed with like promo posts and cat pictures and shit like that. That's often one of the ways you can kind of rinse your feed. There he started right away. The first one was this Catholic priest and his book on butterflies. This is the there you go. Okay. Wow, in the raid of the FBI of Mar-a-Lago, they stole my 3 passport, 1 expired. Along with everything else, this is an assault on a political opponent at a level never seen before in our country. Third world. Republicans could win many additional seats, both in House and Senate, because of the strong backlash over the raid at Mar-a-Lago. That's okay. Sure. Let's see. Because of the strong back of the raid at Mar-a-Lago. Sure, why not? And then polls are showing that some lost Republican territory over the last number of weeks. Some lost Republican territory over the last number of weeks has been more than made up with the unannounced break-in by the FBI. The break-in. Fuck you, break-in. Which should have never happened. The Afghanistan disaster of exactly 1 year ago was the most embarrassing, incompetent, and humiliating event in the history of the United States. Not the fact that we left. I was the one that got our soldier count down to 2,000 in preparation for leaving. But the way we left, taking out our military first, 13 dead soldiers with many badly injured, leaving many Americans behind and giving the enemy over 85 billion dollars worth of the best military equipment. Yes, dollars. Apparently there is not an edit feature on Truth Social either. Dollars in the best military equipment in the world. So sad. And then a lot of articles. And then there's this dude screaming at people in riot gear. America's never suffered this kind of abuse in law enforcement for the FBI to raid the home of the 45th president of the United States, or any president for that matter, is totally unheard of and unthinkable. Well, technically it's not your home. It's a country club you live in part of the time. This break-in was a sneak attack on democracy, our republic, and was both unannounced and done at a time when the president was not even present. It was for political, not legal reasons, and if it was for political reasons, they would have had him there and cuffed him and embarrassed him. Or made him sit, or stand out in his fucking underwear in the yard like fucking Clark. And greatly embarrassed by it. Make America great again. Just left a large gathering of people. I mean, the press will not turn the cameras around and show you how big the crowd is. And all they could talk about was the complete and total stranglehold that the radical left Democrats have over the DOJ and FBI. More like all I could talk about, I think, was... Just left a large gathering of people, and all I could talk about was the complete and total stranglehold of the radical left. They were bored, but I kept talking. Yes, it's a Bible. It shouldn't be that way. Nobody goes after BLM, Antifa, or the rest, despite murder beatings and burning down large sections of cities. They're just gone. Portland is gone. It's a big crater where it used to be. A very unfair double standard. They definitely won't attack the home of a former Democrat president, nor should they. It is also out of control. It is also out of control, comma, great simmering anger. It is also out of control, great simmering anger. Oh, great. Oh, as if this wasn't like the biggest raid, I must say. Oh, great. It has just been learned that the FBI, is in its now famous raid on Mar-a-Lago, I must say, took boxes of privileged attorney-client material and also executive privilege materials, which they knowingly shouldn't have, which should be evident to everyone watching. Yeah, I must say, by copy of this truth, what? By copy of this truth, oh yeah, that's this one. By copy of this truth, I respectfully request that these documents be immediately returned to the location from which they're taken. Thank you. Thank you. Truth Social. Look at this. Truth Social uses cookies. No shit. Freedom. Whatever. FBI seizes privileged Trump records during raid. DOJ opposes request for independent review. Sources. Who says? Oh, Trump says. Is there... Okay, the FBI is no longer... Okay, he ties these together. It's just... This was when he was prattling yesterday. And then he had this Dekine person that he was like... just retruthing what they truthed. Executing a warrant against ex-POTUS is dangerous. Their apparent political weaponization. Mike Pompeo. Incoming boomerang from We the Pepe. Oi. Ask court to unseal Trump search warrant. Biden measure. Okay, then we're back to this other shit. What a jackass. Okay.
Agents in Cincinnati that
they
were
weren't hurt. The guy was shot dead.
Okay.
Oh, so we're all
guys,
dead.
we have 2 more blocks to talk about.
You know what I meant, Jessica. Don't throw that.
Holy shit. What part did we miss of that?
It's been so much fun with this story because no one's getting hurt and it's about paperwork.
Actually, the FBI agents in Cincinnati that
they
were
weren't hurt. The guy was shot dead.
They weren't hurt. The guy was shot dead. Yeah, they had to fucking kill somebody. And look how, like, Bongino's not even looking at her when she says it.
Okay.
Oh, so we're all
guys,
dead.
we have 2 more blocks to talk about.
You know what I meant, Jessica.
You know what I meant. Don't throw that at me. Nobody's getting hurt except the dead people who got hurt.
Don't throw that.
Everybody's condemned that. Let's not bring that up.
Yeah, everybody's condemned that. Let's not bring that up. Have they? Have they? Look, he's not even looking her in the fucking eye. How, Bongholio, how are you this much of a coward? Like, you'll pipe the fuck up to call Merrick Garland a loser, and then she brings up this maggot who decides to shoot up and the FBI headquarters in Cincinnati with a fucking nail gun and an AR-15, and then leads cops on a chase, endangering the lives of citizens in an area that largely went for Trump, and then ends up getting killed because he tried to murder FBI agents. And by the way, not even the agents, just the fucking staff, just firing at people in the fucking lobby of the place. And you can't, like, everybody called that out. Did they? Because everybody who is not condemning it specifically and who's saying, incendiary shit about the FBI and calling them treasonous and saying they planted evidence and shit is backing that dude's view of the world, the guy who actually showed up to kill people. Look at this fucking coward not wanting to look at her when she brought that up.
I didn't hear Donald Trump condemn it.
But
do I look like Donald Trump? I mean, I have a tan.
A little bit smaller.
All right.
Don't ever do that to a guy.
But your hair is really, really amazing. Much more to come.
Hey, Sean.
Oh, God.
But
do I look like Donald Trump? I mean, I have a tan.
A little bit smaller.
All right.
Don't ever do that to a guy.
But your hair.
Jesus Christ. It's, you know what I mean? It's the level of comedic professionalism. I don't know how I'll ever compete on the same level with a dude in, like, I guess 80s stand-up wear, t-shirt, suit jacket, sneakers, basically the black. I guess he's going for the I don't know if it's like cocktail hour Jerry Seinfeld? Is that the outfit? Is that what he's shooting for? Because it's relaxed there. Or maybe we'll have to look at the show. Is it always like monochromatic? Whoever's sitting in the seat over there has to be dressed in the same colors as him, and then they break up the color scheme throughout the center. Oh God, this is fucking painful. Jesus Christ. Okay, that said, where are we? That's the Giuliani one. All right. Now, I know I'm going over time, but considering I have to tomorrow, I'm going to be doing the show from LA because I'm singing at the Jam, and then I'm going to have to drive back like a crazy person right after the Jam is finished because I'm singing late, and then I'll end up doing my show bagged out and tired on Wednesday, and then Thursday I fly to Chattanooga, Tennessee, where I'll be doing stand up that night at the Monsters on the Mountain, and I'll be on Eddie Trunk's show at 3:00 in the afternoon. Pacific or Eastern time, 6 Pacific. No, I'll be on at 3. Yeah, noon Pacific. So I'll be 3 Eastern time. I keep thinking of it in terms of where I am right now. And then I will be doing the rest of the show at my hotel, wherever the hell that's going to be. I don't even know yet. And then, hold on, right? There we go. And then, so anyways, I feel like I need to do more show. I'm just going to do this one because I want to see here's Glenn Beck. Glenn, he and Stu, there's 2 of these fuckers. And there's, this one's from the 12th. This is the same day as the warrant coming out. And then on the 15th, this asshole comes up with this whole well, let's look at this one real quick. This one's shorter.
Let me ask you, what is the
point of the Rancho Aztec style that you're wearing?
What is the problem with the warrant? Have you heard the real problem with the warrant?
The real problem with the warrant
for Donald Trump. What are you hearing?
What are you hearing? Because I just heard something, and I'm going to base everything I believe on what I just heard, even though I heard it from a completely unreliable source.
The problem from our perspective or the problem from...
Yeah, just politically.
Constitutional.
I mean, it just seems like
I love how he's like, constitutional. Let me guess from the title. Was the FBI warrant given to Trump unconstitutional? Way to bury the lead, dummy.
Strikes me as basically a general warrant, right? This is
What is a general warrant? Excellent, Stu.
To just go search looking for stuff.
No. That's not how it works.
Basically a free pass for a fishing expedition.
Right. You can go in and look anywhere and just grab papers that you might think, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much what the warrant says. Mm-hmm. It is a general warrant for his whole house.
The grounds of the country club that he lives in part of the time. It's not his fucking house. And by the way, there are areas they couldn't go into. You know where? The places that are currently rented by fucking strangers because it's a rental property.
Okay? Any papers lying around, you can grab them. Any boxes with papers. You can look in these places, but also any part of the house.
And it's
No, it had to pertain to either the boxes related to, stuff that was taken out and or stuff that was related directly to his time in office. Like if anything that was lying around that had to do with like his appointment schedule after he was no longer president and fucking like his communications around his rallies ever since, none of that was stuff they could take.
Big house.
It's a big house.
He's got a big...
It's not a house.
Big house, yeah.
It's a fucking hotel.
Okay, that's called a general warrant. And the reason...
Yes, it's the kind of thing they hand out when they're searching a mob boss's house, fucko.
Why this is in our Fourth Amendment is because this is the way the king would get his own citizens over in England.
Yeah, that's how it worked.
And they were outlawed in England, I think in like 1600, something like that.
Yeah, this has been... searching Mar-a-Lago has been outlawed since the 1600s.
They just came into a guy's house and started searching everything, not for illegal papers, just papers.
Yeah, just paper was illegal back then. It was the literacy laws.
And he's like, I wasn't committing a crime. You guys came in and you're just doing a general warrant. You cannot do it. And it's where the castle doctrine actually started. A man's home is his castle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
For fuck's sake.
Well, the king was doing that to...
Excuse me, is this castle a rental in this thing? Can you... Is it the man renting his castle out?
This
is the castle Airbnb doctrine.
This is, according to John Adams, the spark that lit the revolution. Because in 1755,
what was their attitude about nuclear codes and the placing of nuclear warheads throughout the world? It doesn't even have to be exactly at the time. Late 1600s.
Before the Declaration of
Casserole Doctrine.
Independence. Let's leave it at that one. Do your own homework. I urge you. But anyway, the king just said general warrants. And so any cop, anybody could just go, I got a general warrant here from the king. And they could go into
that's how it worked.
Your house and take anything they wanted.
That's not a warrant to search. That's just theft.
Just say you're under suspicion. That's why the Fourth Amendment exists.
Yeah, that's why you have to present an affidavit to the judge to get them to sign off on it. And the seriousness of the criminality that's expected at the property has to reach a level to where they give you a general warrant. Also, what Glenn Beck wishes never happened was Glenn Beck is arguing that John Wayne Gacy and Jeffrey Dahmer were never caught. That's what Glenn wants to have happen. Because the idea that you can know what you're looking for, signs that someone was there, if someone's missing in particular, but the idea that they were going to find a hole in the crawl space and bodies buried under the house, that wasn't something that they were sure they didn't figure he was burying the people in underneath the house. And without the general warrant to keep looking, they would have never been able to catch the fucker.
This is what happened to Donald Trump.
No, it isn't. Because in the fanciful kingly time in fucking the Robin Hood cartoon from Disney, there was no point where the king or his agents had to present an affidavit that under oath swore that they believed that certain things were happening, or they had evidence and reason to believe and probable cause to believe that certain crimes were already in process of being committed.
This allows them to kick the door down in the middle of the night. You're not charged with anything. They're just looking.
No, that's not how it works.
They're just looking to see. What if they have anything?
That's what they're doing. They're just walking around. That's what the FBI likes to do. They like to go in, sniff. They sniff and they go, is that Shalimar you're wearing? And that's enough.
Wonder what they got in there.
Yes. It's the FBI's paranoia division.
They can use it to hassle you?
Yeah, Trump's being hassled while he's staying at his other golf course.
They can do it just to see. Does he have anything he shouldn't have? That's a general warrant.
Yeah, that's why they were specific. They knew specific things, but there may have been crimes he was committing they weren't aware of.
We don't do that.
We don't do that, okay? Except all the fucking time.
In America.
Especially with RICO crimes.
And it's a fundamental principle of America and a fundamental principle in justice. Imagine what the South could have done and what the South probably did do until we started enforcing the Fourth Amendment from the federal government and saying to these states, you're not doing that.
Uh-huh.
Imagine you're black and you're living in a southern state.
That's obviously easier for Stu than the rest of us, but sure.
What they could do, and probably what they did do, just going in with a general warrant. What am I suspected of? You're all guilty.
Yeah. We just got to see this warrant. It says, fuck you on it. That's how we do it around here. Yeah, it's pretty specific. They're looking for specific records related to specific crimes.
Know it. You're all guilty. We know you. And they could just go terrorize your family and bust in at any hour.
And you wouldn't have any recourse. You wouldn't be able to say, oh, you can now. Okay.
And just take whatever they wanted. That's not justice. That is not justice.
Is it justice that he could steal classified documents, hide them in a property that he rents out to strangers, including foreign nationals, and then when told to return them, he ignores the subpoena and then puts these documents, which are dangerous if they're discovered by foreign nationals for the safety and security of the country and perhaps our allies, in a room, and then even after he's told to lock it tighter, puts a padlock on it, but doesn't bother to latch the fucking padlock?
Also, one other thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a point.
When I heard they charged him with the Espionage Act.
They didn't charge him with the Espionage Act. You didn't hear that. The crimes possible under this would be under the Espionage Act. They could. They have not yet.
Excuse me?
Excuse me? Did I hear you right? Did I just make that up in my fucking head?
Or they're thinking about it.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
You know, he
that
might
was the
be,
basis for the warrant.
He might be violating the Espionage Act. Really? Really? You
right.
think Donald Trump is taking nuclear secrets and selling them to whom?
This is coming from the guy who thinks that the Biden administration is in bed with the World Economic Forum to institute the Great Reset and destroy the American dollar while selling us out to China, and that because Hunter Biden got $1 billion.
Beyond that.
Really?
You know, I don't know if you have thought this out as a society or in the Justice Department. You know, the nuclear secrets, that's kind of big. They're not just like in a file cabinet in the drawer of the president, okay?
Okay, it's not like he could, it's not like he would have to get somebody. He's fallen into the Dana Perino trap. He's getting somebody to copy the shit for him. And
if he wants a nuclear secret, he's got to ask for it.
Right.
And it's the kind of thing that usually comes.
That's why after the election, it was very fucked up that he replaced the DOD head and the undersecretary and the assistant with sycophants in jobs that were basically dead ends.
Comes over with a handcuff, and a briefcase. And then that person shows it to the president. And they've got to sign for it if they want to keep it. And somebody has to stay there. It's not like, hey, so I was on the crapper this morning and I picked up accidentally a nuclear secret.
Right, fucko. That's exactly the point. Oh, God, and the wacky voices. Have you talked to Greg Gutfeld? He needs some help. All right. So, different outfit, different day. This is after the fact. Of course, this must be why Trump allegedly had nuclear documents at Mar-a-Lago. I do not know if this is going to be sarcasm or if he thinks he's pushing the Trump was still president thing. Let's find out. By the way, you're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. I haven't reset in a while. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much, Dark Karma, for the super chat. Excuse me. Bean Toast, thank you so much. Didn't Jeb initially start the dossier search? I never heard that it was Jeb. I'd always heard that it was the Washington Free Beacon that did it to protect Jeb because they were backing him. Let's see. And thank you guys for the bits. Don't forget, if you're on Twitch, subscribe if you haven't subscribed in a while. Just think about it. Just tossing that out there. No pressure. But if you're a Twitch subscriber, it's a good thing. Hello. All right. Here we go.
Stew.
Ugh.
Stu. Now that you know what they were looking for, and not actually verified, Garland came out yesterday and said he's going to release the information today, but he wanted to leave it up to Donald Trump, and everybody, of course, speculating, no, wait, Donald Trump's going to say release that, and he said, go ahead, release it. In fact...
Well, no, that was the point, was that Trump had backed himself into a corner. He had already said, I'm fine, he could have released it himself. But Merrick Garland was like, we're going to release it, and he's got till tomorrow, 3 o'clock, to object.
I urge you to release it right now, all of it.
That's not what he did. He could have done that days before.
That was just part of his dastardly plan. The DOJ released it. Well, they didn't really release it. They more kind of laundered it by leaking it to the Washington Post.
Yeah, we heard over and over again that they never comment on these investigations. Yet every piece of information we know about the investigation, other than the one press conference, was leaked to the media.
Yeah,
which is shocking.
No, you heard for days what Trump's angle was on it.
I am very upset about this.
Yeah.
I think
this was probably going to be, I'm going to go with sarcasm.
You say maybe that has changed my mind, and no, it has not changed my mind. I'm very angry about this. I'm angry that the government did not go in earlier with this dangerous plan by Donald Trump to...
Right. I mean, they had nuclear secrets.
Yeah.
He had nuclear secrets.
Well, you did have Secret Service around all the time. So the idea was that there was a certain level of safety there. But if Trump stayed away, it became increasingly dangerous. He was there up to a certain point, and then he's been gone ever since, right after the subpoena, and that's where it increasingly became a problem.
They're just going to wait 18 months for the nuclear secrets?
How many nuclear weapons has this guy built on the property of Mar-a-Lago?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the same Gutfeld joke. So they must have gotten it from the same... Do you guys... Is it like those Morning Zoo guys that subscribe to that service where they write jokes for them?
I don't
know what's happening underneath Mar-a-Lago. I have no idea.
How many has he given to North Korea? I mean, he said himself he's good buddies with Kim Jong-un.
Good buddies.
How many times has he FedExed this guy a suitcase nuke?
He's holding out for...
Yeah, again, the idea isn't that he has nuclear material, but that he has information on those things. How much of it, even the slightest bit of it, could be useful for targeting of U.S. service people by the Russians or the North Koreans or the Chinese? How many individual soldiers are in danger because this fucker either haphazardly, because he's bragging and showing off and he's too stupid to know what he's showing people, or because he willfully released information to people to try and pry himself loose of some debts or to protect his or blackmail or scare someone?
For the highest bidder. It's, I mean, that's what he's doing.
That's what we can
selling.
help.
And as several experts pointed out, that is something we gave the chair to the Eisenbergs for back in the 50s.
Yeah.
The Rosenbergs.
Yeah. Eisenbergs, Rosenbergs, one of the Bergs.
All the Bergs.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because they did go immediately to that. And anytime anyone else says the word treason, you get an alert from every left-wing source. They say how terrible you are.
Yeah, because that's defined in the Constitution. It requires death penalty,
and that's why I think important to be careful when you're talking about those things.
Yeah, all of a sudden, it's important, Stu, to all of a sudden be like, if you want to talk about Biden and Hunter and all that kind of stuff, then it's a word you can throw about. Now that it deals with Trump and literally secure, compartmentalized information that's never supposed to leave, like skiffs in the White House or the Capitol, then it's a big word.
Things.
Sure.
And yet, every media source on the left yesterday seemed to go to Rosenberg's immediately.
Yeah. Well,
what happened to that?
I mean, it's not good enough just to put the guy in jail or to smear him. I think
also this is it's a technique where you exaggerate and be comedically hyperbolic as a form of dismissing the seriousness of it because you're aware that it's serious. This is a similar technique to saying something's outrageous, but using an attempt at humor to get rid of it. Gutfeld does it all the time. So does Glenn Beck. Whenever you can tell they do this whenever Trump does something indefensible. This is the primary defense.
Think electric chair.
That seems
is the way to go.
What they're suggesting, which is a fascinating turn of events.
Can I tell you something, Stu? I've always known it. Always known it.
You've known it?
Oh, I've known it. Let me tell you the real story here.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Wait, how do you?
Is this going to be like a knee slapper? Am I going to have to grease my knee up so that I don't have a big red mark on it?
Well, I know the real story. I've got several sources here.
Oh, dear God.
Sources. Okay. So let me just tell you, because the story starts as it always does, except in Joe Biden's case. It's very important to know. In Joe Biden's case, this doesn't apply. But the story always starts as all stories start. Father and son. Father and son. Mm-hmm. Father just trying to help out his son who might be going in the wayward paths and finds himself in trouble. And the father just says, I want to help him out. You know, while the right has been saying, hey, Hunter Biden, his dad's being held hostage, by China and everywhere else because of his son's, hooker and crack problem.
But enough about Mike Pillow. Also, from years ago, again, how do you blackmail someone with shit everyone knows? Also, the Hunter Biden laptop thing is where we're going.
That is not even true. It's not even true.
It isn't. There is no Hunter Biden laptop.
That's why NPR said, we're not even gonna run this story because it's not even important even if it was true. And that's why, Brian's...
Also, where the fuck is this going with the possibility that there are nuclear secrets at Mar-a-Lago?
Stelter for so long said, it's just a hoax, it's a hoax, it's a hoax. And then soon as management changed and he realized, oh, crap, I might be first on the chopping block, he immediately came and said, oh, you know what? It's not a hoax anymore.
No, he didn't.
Anyway... It's a story of a father and son drunk on power, doing everything they can just to get rich off the backs of the taxpayer, The office of the presidency was nothing more than a banking machine, an ATM machine for them. Well, if it weren't for the press, thank God for the press. Can we just thank God for the press right now? Or whatever Lord...
Get on with it.
...you might serve, or they might serve. Thank him for them, because the press, the CDC, FBI, DOJ, NSA, LGBT, not the Q, but the...
Yes, ATM machine is redundant. This is true. If you haven't watched the Pentaverate, I recommend it.
And the 2, but sans the plus. If it wasn't for them...
What about the A?
No, I'm still out. I don't have a source on the A.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
well, let's see. It's good that you're admitting your limitations.
Well...
what is this? Psst. Wrap it up.
We could all be dead by now. We could all be...
Yes, we're all dying here. What the fuck are you talking about?
Dead by now. In what insiders tell me, and I mean insiders close to the situation, advisors and former friends of Trump, and close friends and former co-workers with Melania, who were also retired whistleblowers. And because they were retired whistleblowers...
Oh my God, what the fuck?
Even though they don't have any firsthand...
Look, I'm used to Glenn Beck not making sense. I'm used to a lot of gibberish, but he seems to think he's on to something here. What the fuck?
And evidence? They are experts in the field of blowing whistles. And,
oh, for fuck's sake.
And, so we asked them for some comment, and they gave us comment. They wish to remain anonymous for their own safety. But they did tell me that they will come forward later, at a later date, once they have the book deal secured. But they have...
Oh, God, he thinks this is funny. Oh, dear Lord. This might require some support. We might need some... do I have to back this up? Glenn, do I have to...
Said that we'd all be dead by now, probably from something that would have been known if they hadn't have caught it as mass suicide. as this former president in his dastardly plan just to help the...
Fuck, he wrote this down. Okay, this is how you know they're fucked. This is it. This is how you know, like, look at what they're falling back on. This is fucking painful. I'm dying. I'm like, I've gotten this. I can't. I'm like, why did I let myself go long tonight on this night? All nights on a Monday. Am I just doomed to have a Monday loop?
Russians and himself and his son were encouraging Americans to inject bleach into their arms. And a lot of Americans were under the spell of this, what experts from the Department of Education now believe is nothing more than a greedy 1%er, very, very rich, but not really rich. It's probably all a fraud.
Right.
But is a genius idiot manipulator of...
Dude, this is how you describe fucking Biden.
People who has had a master plan going for a very, very long time, which is being led, now according to experts, by him, the Klan, Hitler's long-lost Long Island relations, the spray tan industry, and...
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, God, it's painful. This is so lame. Fucking hell. They put this clip up. This is supposed to be, like, them pushing back on Trump being called out for this stuff. This is their fallback. Donald Trump's property was searched by the FBI based on a warrant that a magistrate in Florida saw the affidavit and said, this is valid, this needs to go through. They went there and found over 15 to 20 boxes. So the number's a little watery right now. 15 to 20 boxes of stuff that much of it classified, top secret, or secure compartmentalized information, which is like the most secretive documents we have. At worst for sale as an act of criminality, like pay me some money and I'll show you the shit. I'm not going to give it to you. I'm going to keep it here, and you can pay me to just rent a gander at it. Or just because he's fucking lazy. Extraordinary situation that America finds itself in. And the fallback from these fucks is jokes that Greg Gutfeld would pass on.
And known Christian white nationalists Clarence and Ginny Thomas. And thank goodness we found out about it yesterday. You know what I mean? We just needed that one last piece, which, of course, begins with his wife, I should say, air quote, wife, Melania, who is, we all know, most likely an illegal immigrant, which is the first and only time that we're supposed to care about that. But she's not actually his wife. That's a beard. She's his handler. She's from the former Soviet Union. And that goes with a long, well-documented...
So what he's trying to do is sort of an inverted Gish Gallop. Like everything that the left has said about him or Democrats have said or inferred or implied or anything that people shit on him on Twitter about, that you just line those up. And therefore, because those things, by the way, may or may not be true or may or may not be important to your judgment of his character, or may not be just kind of David Icke level fictionalized shit, or like jabs people take. Like, nobody has a problem with Melania necessarily being here as an immigrant, but the ironic nature of how he treats immigrants, considering his wife and her family, literally her parents being chain migrants and him being against chain migration, that kind of stuff. Like those kind of points that have been brought up in a stack over the last 6 years, that because those things exist, therefore, this extraordinary situation where this fuckhead has been keeping American governmental secrets in a fucking storage closet at Mar-a-Lago and had to be told to padlock the fucking thing, that you're supposed to forget about that part.
Love that Donald Trump has had for the former Soviet Union. And
the entire right, really. I mean, it's never been the left that's loved the Soviet Union. It's the right that loves the Soviet Union.
It's the right.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, fascists, communists. We just love it. Anyway, you know, everybody thinks, oh, he loves his wife. Actually, have you seen the pictures? Have you seen the pictures, really, of Donald Trump, who he really loves? Remember that one picture of him?
Glenn's very much in danger of accidentally telling the truth or letting us know which parts of Trump bother him, and he's slipping them in as a way of sort of distancing himself. This is one of those reminder parts. Hey, hi, Sarah. Hi, everybody.
With his daughter in the limousine like 25 years ago when she was little, sitting right up next to him.
Oh my gosh.
Right up next. Yeah. Yeah. Did you need any more than that? Apparently he is he's actually married.
Oh, Don Jr. put out a video? Get out of town. I'm so bored by this. Thank God. Let's see. Where is it? Did he do it on YouTube or something? Hold on. Love you too, Water Goddess. Hold on one second. Whoops. News. Hold on. Where did we see this? It's not on his Rumble. I don't see it. Oh, Ron Filipowski has it? Okay, let me check real quick. Hold on. Was he... Okay, hold on. There we go. All right, hold on. Okay, so it's on, it looks like it's on his Rumble. It looks like it's from his Rumble. Oh, here it is. Okay, found it. Oh, okay. I don't even need to see the rest of this fucking Glenn Beck thing. This is so fucking dull. I need to see this dude wigging the shit out. That'll send us off into our own... hold on, let me see 1 second. Let me turn this up if I may. Go in here. Edit filters. Turn on chroma key because this fuckhead never learns. And why he never learns, I will never fucking know. Why would you guys, why would you guys, good guys. Oh, this is the ad for noodles, which makes me want to have ramen. Okay, we get it. I don't know what, yeah, gonna order now. I don't know what.
Wow, guys. Apparently Chris Wray and the FBI, they're really upset. They're screaming about all the equal justice under the law that we're supposed to be seeing, and yet,
guys, I'm totally not panicking. I'm not freaking the fuck out. Guys, I've got 3 minutes and 38 seconds to tell you guys what the Heritage Foundation wrote for me on a piece of paper over there. And nobody has told me yet not to wear a green or blue shirt when I put out a video, because HAL SPARKS will fuck with me if I do. No one has told me that, guys.
Strangely, there doesn't seem to be a single example to back up their claims of equal justice under the law.
Yeah, it's almost like if you cooperate, they don't raid you, and if you lie about cooperating, they do.
Give me
a lawyer. Actually, I'd like to lawyer up if I could.
Break.
I wrote break on a piece of paper right over here.
Okay.
Okay, it says break. Give me a break. Chris Wray
has had Hunter Biden's laptop for
There is no Hunter Biden laptop.
3 years.
Yeah, and apparently there was nothing on it. They've had it for 3 years. Your dad appointed a guy, and even the guy your dad appointed couldn't find anything on it. I guess it was just a dud. I guess it's just, personal crimes, but none of it points to a greater scheme. And yet, when they were looking at stuff, apparently somebody fucked up in Russia, and they put the wrong stuff on the hard drive. They opened the wrong folder on the concocted Hunter Biden laptop, and it, the fake hard drive, and on it was a bunch of shit about your dad. It's just such a bummer.
Okay, James Comey didn't do anything with Hillary Clinton and
2 years of stuff.
30,000 emails.
35,000.
Literally
33,000, sorry.
Taking
30,000.
hammers to their phones.
Right. Which wouldn't change the digital cloud aspect of things, and would make sure that would those digital devices ever fall into the hands of of Russians or anybody with criminal intent, they wouldn't be of any value to. Now I know why you're mad. That I suddenly realized you thought they all went into a drawer, and then as soon as your dad became president, he could just go open the drawer and look at Hillary's phone or other stuff, and then find something on there that was either embarrassing or criminal, and you could use it against her, and then she went and smashed it. That's so sad. By the way, nice shirt.
Under subpoena, no big deal. There's some stuff there, he said, but I don't know. We wouldn't want to politicize it. And
it's not like I'm panicking or anything. And it's not like, look, anybody with this much coke in their system is actually going to act like guys, okay? Guys, I need to fucking, does everyone's skin burn or just mine?
Strangely enough, they had no problems raiding 2 Trump lawyers, going...
Why'd you have to look at a piece of paper to see 2 Trump lawyers?
After Peter Navarro, a Trump advisor in the White House, and putting him in leg shackles.
Leg shackles. I thought it was leg irons, but only after he tried to flee. So, they don't just shackle everybody. Steve Bannon didn't get shackled, but then, of course, they need to reuse those shackles, and anything you put on Steve Bannon, you have to burn afterwards in some sort of ritualistic destruction of it. Otherwise, the seed of Satan spreads throughout. I don't know how it works, but it's gross.
Going up to Roger Stone's house with 17 vehicles, apparently, according to Roger Stone, and
he's a trustworthy source.
Armed FBI agents for a 70-year-old dude that would have come in willingly.
They were seizing things there. They had a search warrant for his premises as well. He had documents, and he had electronic devices that were part of the criminality that he was being charged with. Your dad had to grant him clemency, fucko. One of the things your dad took was the clemency statement that he granted Roger. They had to get it back, because if your dad ever tears it up, it doesn't exist.
My father says that he would have given them what they wanted.
Yeah, and why hadn't he? Been months.
They've done this, but no. They needed the FBI hostage rescue team.
Maybe was that the case? Were the boxes being held hostage? Did they call from inside the house? Were you there? Show us on the video where the bad man touched you.
The HRT, their elite tactical unit, and 30-something agents to show up to my father's home.
My father's home, which is, a country club he rents out to foreign nationals.
Where they then wouldn't allow or didn't want any lawyers present.
Like is standard for everyone. I'm terribly sorry. This must come as a shock to you. This is the first time it's happened in your life where you're being treated like the rest of us plebes.
Right? Because I'm sure, given all of the examples of totally above-board stuff that the FBI does, that's totally great, right? I don't know. If I'm the FBI, you want someone's lawyer there so that there can be no other claims later on. But, honestly, they don't care.
Yeah, the FBI doesn't care. Fuck the FBI, right? Whatever happens to them, happens to them, right? Everybody right? Because you can't trust the FBI. Law and order, that's garbage.
At this point, given all of the things that they seem to have fabricated or lied about and all of these things, guess what, folks?
Which, like what? Post-civil rights era, soon as J. Edgar Hoover left, what exactly are you fucking talking about? I'm dead serious. What the fuck are they talking about since Hoover left?
There's exactly zero equal justice under the law.
Exactly, precisely zero equal justice under the law, because if there was equal justice, my father would never even be bothered by it. He wouldn't have to answer. So what if he had 27 boxes of classified documents and Sandy Berger had to pay $50,000 and do 100 hours of community service and was fined and lost his national security clearance forever because of 5 documents, 5 pieces of paper, 5 actual, 2 of which he returned and 3 of which he destroyed. That is 5 pieces of paper. 27 boxes, 5 pieces of paper.
You know what?
What?
Pro tip for life. This is an ultimate life hack.
Yes, here's an ultimate life hack. If you're Don Jr. or anyone in the Trump family, don't wear a blue or green shirt. I will fuck with you.
Become a Democrat. Then you can do whatever you want with no accountability. No law, legal action. They'll just
no law, legal action. I mean, you have to, voluntarily get interviewed and tell the truth and work with your lawyers and interact with people. And if they give you a subpoena, you have to honor it.
leave you alone.
He wrote "leave you alone" on a piece of paper.
Okay, but you
needed
the HRT to exercise this warrant at Mar-a-Lago.
Also, where the HRT, the hostage rescue team? He thinks that's a point. He thinks that's a win for him. I don't understand where that didn't really actually happen. The hostage rescue team did not fucking parachute into Mar-a-Lago. It's supposed to be a comedic exaggeration to help your side. Like, this is way too big. This is overreach. It was unnecessary. And this is the second time he said it, so I'm kind of convinced in his coked out state that he actually believes it.
Give me a break, right?
You get a break. Here you go. There's your break.
Again, Hillary can bleach 30,000 emails and take Hammer's 2 phones. Nothing shady about this, folks. But Trump says he'd cooperate, and they still have to show up this.
Yeah, he says he'd cooperate, and then he didn't. His lawyers signed off and said, we don't have any more classified documents, and they knew they did.
Wait, you know why? Because they're there to intimidate you.
That's right. That's what the FBI is. They're there to intimidate you. That's why you're completely justified in showing up at the fucking Cincinnati FBI. What the fuck?
They're acting like the fascists we've been seeing them be.
All right, that was almost a sentence. So the FBI are fascists, and these are the fascists we have been seeing them be.
The last few years, folks, and for all the Democrat talk about Republicans being fascists, these are the guys acting like it.
These are guys are this is total fascism. Obviously, my dad thought he could surreptitiously declassify documents just by farting near them, and that would automatically squirt magic sauce all over them that would make them magically his forever and ever, and that he could give them to anybody he wants and hide them from anybody he wants. And and there's no paperwork that shows he ever gave a shit about clarifying why he would declassify things, or to whom, or to what extent, and that kind of stuff. But if you even ask him, or you even try to come get the shit, you're a fascist.
Give me a break.
Did you write "give me a break"? This is the 3rd time. Is "give me a break" written in like all caps on the fucking post-it? Break. Give me a break.
Okay? They wouldn't look at Hunter and deals in China, or...
Yes. What deals would those be?
Ukraine, or links to Russian oligarchs with links to Putin, or links to human trafficking, and literally videotaped evidence of him saying that the Russian mob may have his laptop. No, that was Russian disinformation.
Weird that you would bring that up. That you would bring up the video of him saying that they might have stolen a laptop of his, in the effort, by the way, to plant shit on it. Take real things, fake things, deep fakes, and outright frauds, and mix them all together in a big soup, and put them on one of his old laptops and then take it to the only blind repair shop guy in the area that was friends with Rudy Giuliani's lawyer that they could find and drop it off there. I don't know why they thought this scheme wouldn't work.
But we need the HRT team.
Again, they didn't. The HRT team. I think you're thinking the TRT theme, and it isn't working, Don.
To go to Mar-a-Lago.
Who grows a beard and their chin becomes smaller? I just don't understand.
It's intimidation, folks.
Is it?
And the number one thing we can do to...
It is move into a, I don't know, maybe there's a piece of property near Mar-a-Lago that's more like a home that's, owned by a former friend of the president's that he could buy as a property and then live there. If you buy it, you get a free island.
Save America and prevent us from becoming the dictatorship that these guys would like is to drain the swamp.
And didn't you have 4 fucking years you couldn't drain the swamp? Chris Wray is your dude. What swamp? At this point, I think he was, again, the swamp itself, he was just pissed that it wasn't filled with his alligators.
And fire all of the bureaucrats. Enough is enough, folks.
Yeah, just go in there, fire everyone in the FBI so they will leave us alone, and then would bring in new people who are complete loyalists to my father so that we could end fascism, because that's what it is.
This stuff will never end until we do something about it.
Oh, yeah? What are you going to do about it, fucko? I hope it doesn't involve a nail gun and a visit to the Cincinnati FBI office, you fucking cretin. Stop telling people to do this.
And they're going to get to a point where we're not going to be able to. So now is the time to push back on this insanity.
By what?
And that's exactly what it is, folks. Absolute and total insanity.
To his daughter.
Hold on. Wait a second. What the fuck you mean? Like, he didn't drop fucking vote in there anywhere. He didn't go, we got to do something. Don't forget to vote. We've got to retake the House and Senate. None of that shit. He knows full well this is his first video in a fucking God knows since when. Let's look who they're all fit together. Look at that. There you go. And Jimmy's doing very well on Rumble. It's weird. This is August 15th. When's the last video before this? The last one he did, he hasn't done one in 2 fucking weeks. And this is the most recent one. 3:38, same, I mean, they're all basically the same time. He doesn't do any, I mean, what are you going to think he's going to do? Put extra work in? The fuck out of here. But notice he didn't end this with, you got to do something about this or it's going to be too late. He didn't say vote this fall. And he knows what happened in Cincinnati. He knows what happened, with the dude who crashed his car and then shot himself. This is not good. It's fucking dangerous. It's stupid. Hold on. Unitree. Oh, can I get a robot dog? Is that too much to ask? Should we needle drop into Jimmy and then I'll fuck off? I don't know what that.
All right, I'm standing here in front of the federal courthouse in Washington, D.C., and inside is the first jury.
Say we are capping your out-of-pocket costs.
But only because she's a huge liar.
Yeah, only because she's a huge liar.
I think it is understood that it is not Fastbacker told the Post you can't at least.
But she can't, at least not for this election or the next one. Say that. I think it's understood that it's not fast.
Why?
It's definitely understood. But why is not understood?
This is absolutely correct. Seniors will find out the drugs aren't capped when they keep paying and paying for them. Who wrote the American Prospect? Hold on. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, this is just the top of it. I have to watch the stream. So basically, this is the idea that the cap on Medicare expenditures that goes into effect because of this won't be immediate because there's no way they can make it immediate because that's not how the budget works. But because of that means it's fake. So we should wait to never do it because whenever we do it, it will take a cycle before it starts to show up. Yeah. That's the Jimmy Dore magic. By the way, this bill passed this week. It's the first step towards any of this shit. There's a $15 minimum, 15% minimum tax on billion-dollar companies in this. This is something that even Jimmy Dore should fucking like. It's ridiculous that it's actually happening. It's amazing. And yet, there is no way. Oh, look at that. Oh, Jimmy's. Jimmy's apparently haunted by the ghost of Epstein as well. That's funny. He hasn't learned his lesson about this either, about his background. But ultimately, this is what Jimmy has to talk about because it actually works for Democrats for this fall. And it could go even further. Yeah, Dore and Powell. So there's this is the whole thing. Okay, if you thought the Democrats would learn this lesson from the Affordable Care Act, whose major benefits didn't kick in for 4 years after passage, a time lag that helped lead to 2 midterm wipeouts. But here we are again as Democratic officials tout a drug price reform that isn't visible to anyone. Yeah, but it did. That was the nature of it. That's all they could get through. And they did it. And when it did, it became very fucking popular. And the lesson should be, we should appreciate when somebody in office actually cares enough to get shit done for everyone, instead of, this isn't going to happen in 2 cycles, so I don't know why they think this will help them. Instead of, oh, maybe it won't. Maybe it's simply that it's good for people.
Lead to 2 midterm wipeouts for the Democrats. But here we are again. Oh, those Democrats, those gosh darn Washington generals, they keep losing even when they're winning.
Gee, and who's helping them do that? Oh, fuck, this is so tired. There were better jokes on Gutfeld. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I went long tonight just because, why not? Tomorrow afternoon, I'll see you. I'm going to be doing the show from LA. And then I will be singing at the Whiskey tomorrow night if you're in the area. There's the Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, Joan Jett tour is the theme for tomorrow night. So I will be doing a Motley Crue song. I'll be doing Wild Side, and I will be doing Photograph by Def Leppard. Very exciting, very fun. I'm looking forward to it. Then Wednesday I'll be back in Vegas. Thursday I go to Chattanooga. I'll be on Eddie Trunk's show. Then I will have a show that I'll do my regular show on Thursday. And then that night, I will be doing a stand-up show. And then Friday night, Nerd Halen is playing the after party for the Monsters of Rock Festival and in Monsters on the Mountain. And then the next morning, I fly to Dallas. I may have to, depending, do a best of on Saturday because of travel. It all depends. Because I don't trust the flights that we have and getting into the room in time, and it's always a pain in the ass. So yeah, if you're feeling it, give a thumbs up, support the show, just give it a like on your way out the door, and hopefully I can toss you guys someplace on our way out of the gate. And I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Thanks for sticking around. I know it was a long show tonight, and I appreciate you being here more than you will ever know. And let's see, do we have anybody? Nope. There's nobody on. Yeah, the Midas guys. Normally they're on 6, something like that. Anyways, I'll leave you guys because I know Rachel's going to be on in like 2 minutes, and you guys are going to want to go watch that. So take care of yourself and take care of somebody else, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Much love. Thank you. And don't forget, if you're ever confronted by a choice that you believe is the lesser of 2 evils, choose less evil. See you tomorrow.